For me, the example is a lot easier.
Morality. I mean,
Let me finish. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier when I just oppose it to make a parallel between the animal kingdom, because the way the animal kingdom works is, the animal who's the bigger, stronger animal, he just usually just dominates. And there could be time periods where that animal could dominate for years and years at a time, unopposed, until he becomes too old. Well, is there something in his morality that's allowing him to dominate, or is he just dominating because he can, right? So in the human world, a big, strong individual would just be able to walk up to you and take your stuff, right? And there wouldn't necessarily be what you would quote unquote be saying something is wrong. He's just doing what he can, the same way the animals do. So the fact that humans actually choose to create these sets of behaviors to protect one another, from people who don't have who have a little bit less inhibition, who can't control themselves. Like, to me, that actually, it kind of speaks to the beauty of just like being a human at all. But I guess you could go ahead and try to comment.
Yeah, because we had to. The thing is, like, humans gotta do certain things like that because we weak and we fragile, right? And we done figured that out. Like, it don't take real long to figure out. Like, yo, if anybody can be pieces of shit to one another, like, we can't. Like, human beings cannot be pieces of shit to one another. And we figured it out as apes already. I believe as apes, we figured out that we can't be pieces of shit because it's better that
cooperation.
And because we don't come from the ape that like the silverback lineage. We come from that chimpanzee lineage, right? So, like, if you look at a chimpanzee, like, you know what I'm saying, like, somebody, like, he can get his ass fucked up. Now, I mean, compared to a human, a chimpanzee will fuck a human up, right? But, like, out in the animal kingdom, right, a chimpanzee get pretty fucked up. So he's got to be smarter than the other animals. That's how he survived, is through his
He got to be more social. He got to be more social.
Yeah, he got to travel with a group, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And not only that, though, but the group has to have a certain intellect, because all you got to do is same thing with a human being. If you whack a human being upside the head one time the right way, it's over. He's done. That's all you got to do. Just look at a human's body. Your body is soft. Everything. All you got to do is hit your ass in the head one time, and you're done. Like, most animals ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Most animals, you got to fuck them up. They got tough skin, and their skeleton is robust, and you know what I'm saying? And built for, the beating and all of that type of shit. You know what I mean? But a human, all I got to do is fall down. If I fall down the wrong way, I'm done. It's over with for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we got to be smart and social. And that's a survival mechanism that we took from being from our ape state. You know what I'm saying?
I changed my stance. It is a real thing.
Wait.
Because let me finish.
I'm trying to say, but go ahead.
Morality, like moral judgments, indeed can be measured scientifically by measuring aspects of the brain and stuff like that. So yes, it is a real thing. But that's why I say, what do y'all mean by morality? Because I'm looking at morality the way we talking about it regarding moral.
You gotta explain what you mean by real first.
Let me state my case.
Real is a good thing to define, but go ahead.
Let me state my case. Logic, morality, and reason all live in this thing called normative fact. So a normative reality is a part of reality that deals with how things ought to be, not just how they are. So you can describe what is, but a normative fact would be what it should be, right? So science lives mostly in the what it is, but morality, logic, and reason live in the what it should be. So the normative reality is real standards or rules or principles that guide your judgment, obligation, and evaluation, even though they are not physical objects. So they don't describe the world, but they govern how we act within it. So like a simple example would be logic. You shouldn't contradict yourself. That's not a physical law. It's a normative rule. Without it, reasoning collapses. And reasoning is real. Math, 2 + 2 is 4. That's not an experiment. It's a necessary rule. The universe doesn't determine that 2 + 2 is 4. It's just a rule. It just is. So science can't necessarily describe it, but it's real. 2 apples and
it
one
can
apple.
Describe it. It literally can describe it.
No, but listen what I'm saying. 1 apple, but it exists without science having to explain it. Like logic, reason, and math and morality exists without science having to explain it. It exists. It's real.
The way he worded that, the way
hold on. Wait. The reason why normative doesn't equal made up is because you confuse not physical with imaginary. But if you think about the rules of chess, the meaning of words, the laws of reasoning, they're real because they constrain behavior. Violating them has consequences, and they're recognized across cultures. So even if each individual culture has different rules, there are certain things that are recognized across all of them. So to say that that's not real,
is that called a universal truth?
I don't get that.
I'm literally reading a paper. Oh, you done, Brad?
No, I'm almost done. I need like 30 seconds. So if someone says only science is real, they're making a normative claim. But if you're saying you should only believe science, that claim isn't scientific. That's like a contradiction. So if you saying, I'm atheist, I don't believe in God or none of that shit, but in the same voice, you think science explains everything, then now you're basically in the religion. Now you're treating science. You just replaced religion with scientism. So it's an argument from authority, basically. Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna close on this, and this is ChatGPT. This is not me because I'm out of my realm. But normative realities aren't physical objects, but they're real because they govern reasoning, choice, and obligation. Denying them undermines the very act of arguing. So there'd be no reason. So if it wasn't real, there'd be no reason. There'd be almost no reason to even. There'd be no reason to argue anything if none of this shit is real.
Right.
So I don't think, and if you're just saying that it's made up, it ain't made up in the way people usually mean it. It's not invented like fiction. It's just not physical. Morality and all of these things are discovered through reason, and reason is real.
And I was gonna say,
I'm from the philosophy that it don't even matter if it's real. It don't matter if reality is real or not, Brad. You still have to deal with it as if it was real.
Right.
That's basically what they're saying there. You know what I'm saying?
And it's saying
what you think. You still got to deal with it. But go ahead, Fatty.
No, you good. It explains it in a way that we're trying to say. It's saying when it comes to morality, is it a physical substance? No. But is it a measurable brain process? Yes. And is it a set of evolved social instincts? So they use genetic and environmental studies, like geneticists talk about morality. And they say that twin studies suggest that traits surrounding morality or moral judgments is empathy, conscientiousness, harm sensitivity, risk tolerance, aggression, and shit like that. And they say morality is truth because from a science standpoint, it measures moral judgment responses dealing with the brain, empathy scores, harm aversion, fairness sensitivity, political moral foundations, and brain activation and moral dilemmas. So I'm saying like things dealing with the amygdala, serotonin, oxycontin. From a science standpoint, they're basically saying morality isn't like a floating thing that's metaphysical.
I feel like I caught something in there that you said. You said it was it's a part of social evolution. I thought you was finished, bro. Was you not finished?
Nigga, this nigga playing. I'm in the middle of talking and you saying I
got guests.
You got it.
Go ahead.
I feel like I caught something in there that you said. You said it was part of social evolution, right?
Let me finish. I ain't addressing.
Well, go ahead and finish then, goddammit. I'm trying to hear you out.
Though, when you're in the middle of talking, like somebody might have just a little question real quick before you move on. You know what I'm saying? And then we always go off like, man, I wasn't like we gotta. I'm bad at it too. I'm gonna say I'm bad at it too, but we gotta put together an effort.
I really be letting y'all get y'all shit off there, bro. I be letting y'all get y'all shit off.
I'm trying to let you finish, and then you just gave up. So I started talking, and you can't get more frustrated after you gave up.
Yeah, but hold on one second. But Corey, just so we're clear, this ain't like a regular thing. We all cut each other off. But there's also some personal shit going to it. So, Fetty, you got anything else? You want to finish your statement before Logic go? Or you want to let him go?
No. You good.
Okay, go ahead, Logic.
Right. So if I'm not mistaken, we're talking about social evolution. You're definitely not talking about genes at that point, right? You're not talking about something biological.
He's stuck on the biological.
When you talk about something biological, right? I mean, when you talk about something that's non-biological, the red light is a part of social evolution, right? We adhere to it because we all agree that red means stop and green means go. But if that was never explained to me, right, like I wouldn't know what the hell that shit means. So it's real.
So when it said measurable brain process, did you listen to that part? Or are you just gonna cherry pick what you heard?
No, I'm expounding on the part that was relevant to what I'm saying. Because the fact that you can measure it after I've learned it is one thing, but for the way you initially were trying to say it is if I didn't even need to learn it and I would know it anyway.
No, it's not easy. It's things called interplay. Like the way you look at these type of topics, you think it's an either or. Most of the things that we talk about dealing with humans, biological organisms, there's a genetic component to everything that we talk about when it comes. There's a small, especially individuals. So I'm saying what I said earlier, that it's a measurable brain process dealing with morality and moral judgments, and they can pinpoint processes of the brain to where a person may be more cooperative, empathetic, all that. So I would read this shit from a genetic extract. So I'm saying that this is what they say.
Right. And the person that they would determine would be less cooperative, they would call that person a sociopath, right? I'm understanding what you're saying.
No, not a sociopath.
What would they be called?
I'm saying you can be a perfectly normal person and maybe more or less more empathetic. That doesn't mean you're a sociopath or anything. There's a variance. Like he's thinking of it too like generalized.
I don't believe so. And maybe I could be struggling to say it correctly, right? But the fact that they would even think to mention the fact that it's a part of social evolution, right? That's got to mean something towards it not being something that you just have on your brain without society actually putting it there. I'm trying to just
You're right.
Say it very slowly and clearly, right? Because if it were something just completely natural, then I wouldn't need society to actually give it to me. I would just be born with it, right? See, like I don't believe that society needs to tell me to grieve at a funeral. You know what I'm saying? I believe that might just be something that we naturally have kind of put into us. You know what I'm saying? That whole thought process isn't something that I need society to kind of like to impose on me in no particular way. But the social evolutions, I believe, are actually much different. They're not necessarily something that you would like just consider naturally encoded in your brain before you become exposed to them. That's all I'm really trying to say. And the fact I think to mention that, I believe it's got to be a part of also what they're saying. Somebody
clearly read that.
Logic, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So as I'm reading, because I'm trying to see it from y'all point of view too, right? But every time I try to see it from a scientific point of view, it goes. This is where it goes. People will say if science can't measure it, it's not real. That's where people land when they talk about science. If you can't measure it scientifically, then it must not be real, but that's wrong. Science itself depends on logic. Logic isn't physical, math isn't physical, truth is not physical, but if you don't have them three, science collapses without them. So not physical and not being real, we might talk about different types of real, I guess, but if you're saying that, like, why do we say should we keep promises? Like, there's a reason why you say these things. Morality is a real thing. Science can't prove it, but science can't disprove it either.
When you finish.
So if you need logic, truth, and math and reasoning for science not to collapse, how could it not be real?
Right. Because what happened is that
if y'all can't sit,
what
if
happened
y'all
is
can't
that
sit, but hold on though, if y'all can't sit and wait for a person to finish, like if y'all already if y'all already trying to answer something when a person not even finished, like you never gonna understand what somebody say, and they'll never get their full thought out. That's my take. But go ahead.
Okay.
Before you answer Stupid's, Logic, did you understand what I said?
Yeah, I do get what you're saying. The same thing that we're saying is not real is actually holding the thing together that we are saying that we need to measure it to make it real. I definitely do.
Okay, go ahead, Stu.
All right. I like what you just said, but what you said, what is necessary? It is necessary. We use it to understand science, right? Our not understanding science don't make science not real. What science is the understanding of measurable things. What philosophy is the trying to explain things that we can't measure. But when we use logic is a tool that human beings use to understand science. Science would have existed without logic, right? No, morality is different because what morality speaks to is
The natural world would have existed without logic, not science.
Yes, right. Yeah, the natural world. Thank you. That's what I should have said. The natural world would still continue to exist without science because we deem it the understanding of the natural world as science. That's what we put it under. But what morality is? Morality is a social construct. We don't want to be in animals because when animals develop their own sense of group thinking, it's to facilitate our better survival. And those things that break the chain that will facilitate survival, we oftentimes deem those things as immoral. Right? Even dietitianary things we deem as immoral in certain religion. As which word Aram the Muslim use, like certain things is wrong, and them use that H word because it's something that would develop as social beings in order for us to exist peacefully. Haram, right. In order for us to exist peacefully. Back in the days, certain things will kill you. And if you never know how to, refrigeration never exists. So you eating certain things, you must say, boy, that's haram because it's wrong. Sometimes they couldn't explain why it's wrong, but from experience in dealing with certain things, it wasn't good for the individual, hence it wasn't good for the society. That's what morality is about. It's a social construct. That's all it is.
But I don't think the world could exist without logic. You said I know science can't exist without logic. I know that.
The world would be here without logic.
But the universe obeys logic, though.
No. Logic is the humans' understanding of the natural world. It's a way for us to put a grid over shit and make it make sense for us. But the world would exist.
It's us applying.
Yeah.
The world would exist without logic. But
logic ain't optional.
Oh no, hold on. The world existed for billions of years without human beings.
But if logic didn't apply, then something could exist and not exist at the same fucking time.
What?
No, it's our we use logic. Human beings use logic. Human beings use that
on a super subatomic level, that may be true, Brad.
And then on top of it, if we didn't use logic, then bro, if we didn't have logic, right? If you're saying the world could exist without, you're saying that the world could exist without logic, but then cars wouldn't have an effect.
No,
there'd be no.
That's not what we're saying.
The laws. If the world had laws of nature, it wouldn't even be a law. It would be like a suggestion. It would be like a inference or something. It wouldn't even. There'd be no laws of nature.
Oh, you mesh everything together, Brass. Like you're not separating human endeavor and think outside of the natural world. You dig what I'm saying? Like human beings create things for themselves so we can understand the natural world, right? But the natural world and everything that it does will exist without human beings and logic.
But I'm not talking about human beings.
You have to be, because we the ones who give the why to things. It just is. It just is. The reason why things happen, they just happen because that's just the way it is. There's no reason to it. You dig what I'm saying? We give it reason. We give things the purpose. You dig what it's just chemical reactions and shit. You feel me? That's all it is.
I'm gonna state this. I don't know if we're qualified to have the conversation. I want to just make this. I'm gonna just say this. No. I know. That's what I'm trying. I just want to say this. You are not. If you're listening to this conversation, we are not scientists. We are not. We're not here to educate you. We had a moral question. We're trying to work some shit out. It's outside of the majority of our purview. We don't know any of this shit. So don't come here looking for some kind of like enlightenment. And if you know better than us, put a comment in the chat. We'll build on it. But we're trying to get somewhere with our limited knowledge. We're not trying to educate you, and we ain't some advocates or no shit like that. I just want to put that out there first.
Be a teacher a couple days ago.
We're not trying to teach you. Go somewhere else for that shit. But go ahead.
No, in other words, just playing the chef of the barber.
I think people
people could definitely be learning from whatever we share.
But we're not teaching, though. But we're not here to teach. We just talk.
We're learning from it.
Yeah, I know, but we're just
making each other smarter.
Right, I know, but we're still not teaching. We're just talking to each other, trying to build on what you know. What I know,
and first of all,
somewhere else.
And if I'm not mistaken,
very careful about thinking that we teaching some shit. That's all.
And the first thing we got to be clear about is that this conversation is probably 100% philosophical, right? And it may not even fall under some sort of a hard science that could be measurable like that. That's probably one of the first things that we should acknowledge in this conversation as we attempt to describe such a loose, not necessarily loose, but a thing that could be probably included in all sorts of different types of. We got to define reality. That's philosophical. We got to.
That's where this is.
Can somebody go in the chat and read the conclusion that scientists say about morality?
So
okay,
I'm done playing.
Talking about the measurement.
Scientists can definitely comment on.
I just want to.
I'm gonna pull it out. Fetty. I'm gonna pull it out. I just want to say one thing. I'm gonna go read you what you're saying. So, Chef, for whoever says that the world, right? So, you said that the world can exist without humans, right?
Mm-hmm. It did for billions of years.
Okay. So the world can exist without humans. Was 2 + 2 4 before humans?
No.
It was. It was true before humans.
Oh yeah, y'all about to be in a rabbit hole.
2 + 2 being 4 was true before human beings. That's math. It didn't need humans. Math didn't need humans for it to be true.
What?
Two rock before we were here. 2 rocks on the ground. And 2 other rocks on the ground was 4 rocks on the ground without us.
Something to observe that phenomenon.
He kind of got a point, but I don't know if that means anything without somebody contemplating the question.
Hold on, Logic. We might have invented the symbols so that we could understand it. But before we got here and invented the symbols to understand it, math was true before us. We just created some shit so we could understand it.
Yeah, and the symbols.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so that means math was real without humans. So you don't, and math is real. So you don't need humans in order for some shit to be real.
I understand what you said. I don't know if I fully agree.
Well, that's fine.
I agree with part of it. That
all I'm saying is that 2 + 2 would still be 4. It just wouldn't be none of us around to make symbols.
What's the example? What's the example of the morality before humans?
Because logic, reasoning, and math all fall under the same thing. Logic, reasoning, morality, and math all fall under the same thing. They're true with or without us. They exist with or without us. Hold on. They exist with or without us. So when y'all talk about understanding, that's intelligibility. Intelligibility is being capable of being understood. Humans don't create it, they recognize it. So the fact that 2 + 2 was 4, we didn't create morality, we recognized it. We didn't create math, we recognized it. We saw 2 rocks and 2 rocks is 4. We just created symbols so that we could understand it. But it was 4 rocks before we created the symbols. You don't need humans for logic.
We discovered morality.
I think empathy existed.
I know,
right?
but you want to move it to something else, though. And I'm
not. I think he's right. Yeah, he's right there. He's right there.
Empathy existed, right? Because animals deal with a certain amount of empathy, right? Depending on their social status of their species, right? So there's a certain amount of empathy there, right? So empathy could be real, right? That's something that human beings have. Now, your morality is how you deal with that empathy, how you recognize the level of empathy that you show to different things.
That's why I was saying, what is y'all definition of morality? Because it may differ. I said that 20 minutes ago.
All animals have a certain level of empathy. You can watch an elephant kill. And I seen a video of a baby elephant fell in a hole, and all of the other elephants came to help it, and they were crying. There was a certain amount of empathy for it, right? Now, we wouldn't call that morality because we see all animals.
But empathy ain't morality, though.
No, I'm saying morality is is how humans measure.
But empathy is a mental state, Chef. I'm talking about some real shit. You talking about a state of your mind.
So
the shit dealing with the brain, bro. You can't get around it, bro. Like
morality is real, but empathy isn't.
No, I'm not saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying when I say you switched it, I followed you. But what I'm saying when you switch it, I'm talking about normative things, not a mental state. I'm not talking about a mental state. I'm not talking about like a feeling. I'm not you're saying I'm talking about a normative thing, like an actual 2 + 2 and 4 and empathy is not the same thing, bro. One is a mental state, one is real.
I think this is actually important. I think that you absolutely do need to find some examples of what you would consider morality before humans. That could have occurred outside of humans for it to be something that we just stumbled upon as we, navigated.
It would be empathy. It would be empathy.
That would be an example. That's why I said grieving
of controlling their empathy.
Yeah, that's why I said grieving at a funeral. No, society didn't need to teach me to be that. Like I was just an appropriate emotion, for the event, right? That would be just something innate in us. Like, we might find a word to describe it, but even if we didn't have a word to describe it, we would experience it.
But if you're talking about empathy, but before I read Fetty's thing, but if you're talking about empathy as a moral concept, then no, it didn't exist without us. If you're talking about empathy,
without us.
Examples outside of human is a capuchin monkey. They deal with fairness and equity aversion, elephant grief, social care, punishment and social reinforcement in wolves and primates, reciprocal altruism in bats, That's what I'm saying, man.
But
Y'all be surprised.
but
even that shows that.
Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Empathy,
that was a good one, Patty. That was a good one.
But empathy is not a property of the universe, though. 2 + 2 = 4 is. So if empathy is not a property of the universe, rocks don't have empathy, planets don't have empathy, empty space doesn't have empathy.
But animals
if there was,
empathy.
hold on.
You talking about inanimate things?
What did you just tell Stu P?
Things.
What did you just tell Stu P?
I'm talking about animals.
No. Now I'm talking about something completely different. What did you just tell Stu P?
You said rocks, nigga.
No, I know, but what you just told, I'm talking about without humans. I'm saying without humans. So in order to have empathy as a moral concept without humans,
without biology or without animals, right?
Right. So, but empathy is a conscious mental experience. So that would involve some level of perspective. It wouldn't. You're not going to have no conscious mental experience without some level of perspective. And I'm trying to figure out. It would have to be it would have to be a human being trying to interpret another thing's mental experience, like what is going through.
This is what it says, Brass. This is what it says. It says animals show, outside of humans, shows fairness, sensitivity, empathy, like Chef said, showing, reciprocity, punishment, grief, coalition reinforcement. What animals don't show outside of humans is abstract moral reasoning, universal principles, symbolic ethical systems, and guilt in the human reflective sense. So it's kind of saying.
Okay.
I thought you were saying.
Yeah, you cooking, Patty. You cooking.
Yeah, you doing a great job. You go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
That's what I was saying regarding moral values. We have to, because Chef gave one bullet point of what, which is empathy. But that's why I say we got to be more, because if you see animals outside of humans throughout human evolution showing punishment and certain reinforcement as far as a correlate, that can be looked at as morality, depending on how you look at it.
If animals exist, but I'm talking about here. So if animals exist, but I was talking about 2 + 2. The reason why I said it wasn't talking about what I was talking about is because I was saying it as if nothing existed. Just the world with no animals, no human beings. Those 2 rocks would still be four.
Hey, Brass, you still need an observer with abstract reasoning to identify that phenomena, though.
But math is a truth.
Maths wouldn't exist.
But 4 rocks would still be. We might not have created. Go ahead, bro. I know where we're going.
Would exist,
I'm trying not to match your energy. I'm trying not to match your energy, but I know I'm just trying to have a conversation. If there were 4 rocks on a planet, and there were no humans and no animals, there would still be 4 rocks on the planet. Now, we might not have created the thing so we could understand it yet, because we're not there. So 4 rocks on Earth before human beings was still 4 rocks. That's a truth, bro. We don't that. It would exist without us.
You still need an observer to make that, to identify that thing. I see what you're saying.
I think plurality would exist. Yeah, I think plurality and singularity would exist.
I think we need somebody.
Because it's 2 things. Like, that's 2 different things, Braz, that you're talking about. So you're right on one level, but the thing of the concept of 4. You would need, so it don't take humans for it to be 4 rocks, right? But the concept of 4, you need humans for it. You see what I'm saying?
There's no need for the actual framework 4 without somebody asking the question of how many, right? There's right. I mean, that's not exactly a problem.
Right. In order for 4 to be conceptualized, you need a brain to do that.
Okay, so Corey. So I just asked, how could math exist without us? This is why I said we probably need somebody else.
Who you asked? You asked somebody in your house?
Obviously, I asked ChatGPT. Obviously. Yeah, like, I mean, we don't have the scientists in here. We don't have. This is above our purview. We just talking. This is fun because we like talking.
Hey, Brian, on your channel, are we allowed to react?
Millennium. Go ahead.
So Corey,
are we allowed to react to videos on your channel?
Let me talk after Corey gets done talking. I want to explain something.
All right, what are you saying, Fetty?
I was saying, I think something that could be cool is reacting or looking up probably.
Yeah, we can do that.
Like a reaction.
I do it all the time. I do it with the politics and shit.
Yeah, so we could do that.
That'll help progress the convo, like you said, hearing what an expert says on it and reacting to it like in a 2 minute clip or something like that.
Okay, so listen, Corey, walk with me. Mm-hmm. So I asked, how could math exist without us? And the key is this distinction: objects versus relationships. So rocks are things. Math describes the relationships between things. Math is not another object sitting with the rocks. Right. So if you think of it like this, if there are 4 rocks, they can be grouped, they can be counted, they stand in numerical relation. Whether or not anyone is there to count them, combining one rock with another rock gives 2. Combining 2 pairs of those rocks, with or without math, gives 4. The relationships aren't created by counting. Counting just recognizes them. So if math is just the relationship's there. It's a truth. The fact that those 2 rocks is 4 exists without us. Hold on, stay right there. Now, we invented symbols. We invented 4, we invented plus, and we invented equal. But we did not invent that 4 rocks combined with 4 more make 8. The equal groups behave consistently. The universe is not waiting for us to show up to it and obey the structure that it gave us. So yes, we described it. I'm saying it existed. I'm being very vanilla. I'm just saying that those were 4 rocks before we described it. Because math is not like another thing. It's just described. It's just like the rocks are the things that math describes, not math.
I agree with that. I think that's where I think so that's the part. Okay, so that's what I was saying. Like the original way you phrased it was kind of like 2 parts, and so that's what I was agreeing with. Like that's the part where you're right at. But what I'm saying is the 4-ness of them, right? That has to be conceptualized. Now, was there 4 rocks? Yes. It didn't take human beings to be there for the 4 rocks to be. You know what I'm saying? For it to be 4, right? But the concept, the 4-ness of it. You know what I'm saying? To conceptualize it, you have to have a brain for that. Yeah. Right. So that's the ChatGPT, the way he's answering the question that you asked, but kind of not like they just keeping it within that realm, right? But you know what I'm saying? Let me ask you a question. Without humans, let me ask you this. Before humans existed, those 2 rocks, could they ever not be 4 rocks? If you put 2 rocks next to 2 rocks, could those 4 rocks never not be 4? Could they never be 4? Somehow they rolled over there with the other 2 rocks, it would still be 4 of them. Right,
you still need an observer. You still need an observer, though, to even identify.
Retrospect, though, you understand that that's in retrospect. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if it's like I said. I'm trying to not go too far beyond what makes sense to me, because then y'all could very well be right, and I'm just arguing my point. I'm just saying whether we were there or weren't there, them 2 rocks sitting next to them 2 rocks was 4 rocks. The object
if other animals that count, they might not say 1, 2, 3, but it's other animals that count. Like if you have certain other primates, not humans, like monkeys,
we're not talking about biology. Period. No animals. He talking about with no animals.
No, we're saying nothing. Just the world. We're saying just the world. For example, somebody in the chat just made a good point. We didn't invent math. We discovered it. It was already here.
We're talking devoid of brains. Devoid of brains.
Yeah, no, all I heard was before man. That's why I said what I said.
No, we're trying to, because see, that's another good point.
No, I got skipped a couple times.
I'm gonna go right to you. You're right. You're 100%. So we invented the language of math, but the structure of math, we discovered that. We didn't create that. So we invented like 2 and 2. But the actual fact that it was 4 rocks, it was
reveals itself to us. Like I don't know how to really explain. So the universe, it has revealed 4 to us. Like I don't like
exactly. It's outside of our purview.
Right. It's just like,
I think we need somebody else.
How we communicate what the universe is showing us.
Can I say something, please? Can I say something?
No. We go to let logic go, but we don't cut them off 10 times. Just hold your thought.
Look, I think that us trying to describe this in this mathematical discovery kind of thing is getting us away from what we were talking about with morality. Right? Fetty actually made some really, really good points when he talked about how you can observe, the emotions from animals, right? So even when you consider how animals can display things like grieving, right? How animals actually spend a lot of their time and energy playing, right? They can express when they're having a good time, right? Some animals might even go as far as to laughing. So, but at the same time, when you conceive all of that together, right? Even their concept of reality or morality still does not come to the same conclusions that ours do, right? Because you could look at some primate groups and a lot of their behavior would be considered far more violent than what we would consider, appropriate morality, right? So our concept that we've put on to morality, the way that we see how things ought to be, isn't necessarily deemed from examples from nature. It's literally how we perceive how society should work, how we describe how it should be less violent. So us kind of basing it off of you can see morality in animals. Yes, that is the case, but our concept of morality is completely from us.
But we keep
morality is a byproduct of a evolutionary trait. Y'all get that, right?
Yeah.
It's a trait that the morality comes out of. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's a byproduct. You know what I'm saying?
But there's a reason why I did that. The reason why I went to the math.
Other animals, because we animals too. You mean other animals? We are animals. Humans are animals.
But the reason why I went to math, though, and I'm trying to have this discussion without humans or animals. I'm having the conversation because math and morality. Huh?
Oh, my bad. Oh. Yo, come on, yo.
What happened?
I'm sorry, I'm in the snow.
Can I say something?
The reason why I'm trying to have the conversation, the reason why I brought up math, as if you remember, I brought up logic, reasoning, morality, and math as normative facts. Math and morality have they do have a connection because they're both real kind of in the same way. So math is not physical. It's not created by like humans. We discovered it and then we responded to it. So we discovered math and then we created 2 and 2 and plus and equal so that we can understand it. So math governs quantity, structure, and consistency. Example, 2 + 2 = 4. It's true whether or not anyone notices it. We invented the symbols, not the relationship. Morality governs value, obligation, and fairness. Example, unnecessary cruelty is wrong. It's true whether or not anybody approves of that. We might have invented moral language, but we didn't create the obligation. So morality is what ought to be, not what is. So so we could say, so if science is describing the is, right? Morality is describing the ought. Like it's like what it ought to be. What it ought to be would exist with or without us.
You just killed this guy.
That's kind of wild because what's unnecessary? What is deemed unnecessary? Like who can that's a moral judgment in itself. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think morality, and this is just thinking, right? This is just thinking. I think morality does become relevant when you got humans. I think it does. I think it does become relevant because you would need a brain to somehow determine what is
that's the point, right? You need somebody to say
product of a brain activity.
You need somebody to describe what's fair and what's not fair. You can't just say the word.
Can I give y'all the answer, please? Y'all know why?
I ain't looking for the
We just arrived at the answer.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying the biological answer because apes, primate was apes. The apes that we come from, even bonobos, they have empathy. Empathy, morality comes from empathy. You know what I'm saying? The behavior of empathy.
That's not true either.
No, that's not true either. That's just a bullet. It's an aspect of it. I agree, bro.
Empathy is also a byproduct. Y'all gotta know that empathy is also a byproduct. Like, so you gotta get to the evolutionary trait.
And then morality can change from culture to culture. It can be different in different cultures. Your morality ain't the same in a different culture. But a taboo might be different in another culture than your taboo.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we need some.
Y'all gotta recognize that it's a basic thing that.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
They know it's a strength in numbers.
That's the Corey. All right.
No, that's just a basic thing. That's where that comes from. That's where all of that comes from. It's a basic thing that is strength in numbers. So it all as a trait. All that empathy and the morality that comes from the evolutionary trait of understanding that it's strength in numbers.
But I think evolution explains why we have moral faculties, but it doesn't explain whether it existed with us or without, if that makes sense. I could see somebody in the chat put, and I'm gonna go to these two P's, I promise. Somebody in the chat, they were talking about like hunter-gatherers and shit like that. There are scientists that say morality is real too. Like, this ain't just me. I actually start saying Sam Harris, E.O. Wilson, Joshua Green, cognitive science, Albert Einstein. The moral law within us is as real as the laws of nature outside of us. Science explains facts. Morality governs meaning and responsibility. Confusing the two is a category error. So it's not this. There are people that agree.
That's why I said you'd be surprised on what a neuroscientist may say regarding morality.
Right.
But go ahead, Stu Pease.
Let me listen. Give me 2 minutes. When I was doing philosophy 101, there's a class in philosophy named there's a subject in philosophy named ethics. Ethics is the study of morality. If you do philosophy, you do ethics. Ethics is the study of morality. Nobody was in philosophy is saying that morality is real. If you read most of the philosophers, right? Because I can't remember the word, argument, philosophical argument. No,
yeah, philosophical.
Yes. No, the other thing is when you talk about maths, our understanding of maths is understanding on a three-dimensional level. We created maths to understand a three-dimensional. Sometimes now we're advancing to four-dimensional. Now, you might see the world as two rocks, but a four-dimensional person or a five-dimensional being might see the world as atoms. So you don't even see the rocks. Or a single cell organism can't even see the rock and see it as a world. Or even get smaller, don't even see the wall as a wall. A wall don't look like a wall. So when we created maths and said maths is real, maths would have existed. We created maths to understand the universe as we saw it, because we can only envision the universe as we see it. But no scientists telling that the universe exists on 11th dimension. And them don't even have the maths for that. They only have the maths to say 11 dimension. We invented maths to understand the universe. If a tree fall in the forest, does it still make a noise? That's an argument. That's an argument that we're having. If a tree fall in a forest and there's nobody there to hear it, does it still make a noise? The universe don't need maths. Human beings need maths. So we created it to understand the universe. The universe don't need to count rocks, because the universe could count atoms.
Yeah, but atoms, when you
we count rocks. But we count rocks.
2 minutes, 2 piece.
All right.
If you change atom, if all you did was change the conversation, because atoms can be counted too.
Yeah, but the universe don't need to count it.
Hold on. And however many atoms it took up to make that rock, that math still exists without us. Then you go to subatomic particles. Those subatomic particles can be counted too. So with or without us, the atoms, the subatomic particles, and the rocks do that.
Exist.
When you talk about the universe, hold on. The universe might, when you're saying it doesn't use it, I'm outside of my predicament. So I'm about to start saying shit that I think I may be wrong.
The universe don't need maths.
Everybody's saying shit that they think.
I know, but I don't like to do that. I don't like to do that loudly and confidently with my chest out like most of the conscious community do.
Good.
I don't want to be loud and wrong, because I don't even know what
this conversation
LGBT at this point.
You're scared to expose yourself.
Brass, were you finna say that the universe uses math, Brass? Is that what you were trying to say? The universe uses math?
No,
hold on. We're all expressing what we think, right? So we're not saying we have to be correct.
Right.
We can, you know what I mean? But how we're trying to see how you reason, right? How do you see it? We want to hear it. I
don't think that the universe can exist without math. So hold on. I was gonna be quick. I'm gonna just say what I was about to say. I don't think that the universe may not depend on humans doing math, but I don't think that the universe can exist. If we're talking about any universe that makes sense, that we can understand, like the one we know here, I don't think it can exist without math structure at all. I don't think so. Because a certain amount of things would have to make a certain amount of things put together would have to make a thing. And that thing is one thing. And then the one thing would be the two. I don't think it needs us. I don't think the universe needs us.
I
think it needs math. I think it does need math. And that's my statement. I don't care if I'm wrong or not. That's just what I think.
Yeah, no, what you're recognizing with rocks and atoms and everything you guys were describing, you're recognizing the patterns and the structure of reality. And math is what we created to observe and explain the value of these things. So when you say the universe is doing math, that's almost implying that there's some sort of intelligent designer that's utilizing math to arrange these things in a certain pattern. No, math is something we created to see the pattern of things like a rock or atoms and give values numerically to them.
So when you say
I'm doing a bad job explaining, Brass. You gotta have somebody to use math.
Big up yourself. Big up yourself, dude. Big up yourself.
Please, can you big them up when I'm done? When we say math, I think when you say the universe is doing math, I don't, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the truth of math existed. What I'm saying is one rock and another rock was 2 before we created the number 2. Now we may have created the number 2 so we could understand it, right? We may have created it to explain the relationship between one rock and another, but one rock being and another rock being 2 rocks existed before us. So I'm not saying the universe is doing math. I don't even know what intelligent design is. I'm just saying that the truth of it, we discovered that. We didn't invent it. We discovered
I agree.
We just discovered it and then explained it with with the math that we know, the 2, the plus sign, the equal, and all of that. But the fact that it was 4 rocks existed before we created all of that.
I agree that there's something tangibly and physically there that we're observing the structure and pattern of. But the way we were able to identify and explain that structure and pattern we're observing is through the language we created called math.
And we're saying the same thing. Yes, then we're saying the same thing. I'm saying that truth existed and we created math so we could understand it. We're trying to figure out what's the relationship between those 2 rocks. The relationship between those 2 rocks is 1 rock plus another rock equals 2. That's what we created. But the fact that was 2 rocks, I think that was a truth that we discovered. So we had to create something so we could make sense of our discovery.
Yes. And here's the bigger picture of that. We wouldn't even be able to discover that pattern without math. Math is what we're using to identify that pattern.
Say that again.
So when you're looking at the 2 rocks and you're adding another 2 rocks to it, and you say, okay, this makes 4 rocks. The only way you were able to identify that and come to the conclusion you did was with math. Math is the telescope you're using to find these patterns in the physical world.
Yeah, math is a tool. Math is a tool to measure the universe, yo. That's all it is.
Putting that in the song. Nigga said math is the telescope we use to
wait, Stu. Now that I understand what you said, Truist. But so I agree with what you're saying. That was that we didn't know it. We discovered it, but we used math to understand. I get that part.
No, we invented it.
So we didn't hold on, but we did not. But we had to have discovered it because we didn't invent the fact that 1 rock plus 1 rock equals 2. We didn't invent that.
We invented the language of decoding it. I see what he's saying.
Right. No, exactly. But those facts were true before we looked at them. I'm talking about
but what you're calling a fact is really a pattern.
No, but even if it's a pattern, the pattern existed. We just recognized it.
Right, but to identify the pattern and to then go to other human beings and this is what this pattern means, we used and created math to do that.
Right. No question. But birds didn't create math, but they still tracked how many eggs they had before us.
Hold on. That's what I was explaining earlier. Y'all say y'all not talking about biology.
No, he introduced biology, Gullah. So he started talking about us creating. So what I'm saying is we didn't discover 2 rocks or 2 without math. So, but we recognized it. In order to recognize it, it would have had to the fact of the 2 rocks being 2 had to already exist. We recognize something that was already
part
there.
Of the material. It's a part of the material world, so it had to physically be there. It had to be arranged in a certain sequence for us to then apply math to it. But math is also what is allowing us to even identify the structure there.
I get it, but I get that. I understand exactly what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, I know this sounds crazy, but counting existed before we created numbers, bro. No, we didn't their counting is not something that
other animals. That's what I was saying. Other animals,
right? Yeah, now that we bringing animals into it, yeah.
Counting is a part of math. You know what I'm saying?
Counting doesn't mean writing symbols. Counting is recognizing more versus less.
But that's
hold on, Truist.
They just noticing quantities of things. You know,
right. If an animal,
because I would say at the end of the day, everything in the universe is made out of the same shit. So the 2 rocks are made out of the same damn substance. So the universe don't give a damn about numbers.
No, that's true. if an animal, picture before us, dinosaurs and shit before us, anything that existed before us, if it left, say it had 4 babies, and it left a cave to go hunt and this, that, and the other. When it came back, if it was only 3 babies there, even if that animal don't know what 3 is, they know it's less than when they left. That's counting. So it didn't need numbers. It didn't need 2. It didn't need us to put.
So then it follows it didn't need math. Because you cannot say
right. So it existed without right. But all I've been saying this entire time is that math is a fact. It existed before we math. The concept of, let me change my words. Math is the relationship.
You mean the quantity of things, the quantity,
right? The quantity of things.
That's a fact. Like whenever you have tangible things, there's always going to be a quantity to it.
Right. And that existed long before we created numbers, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like when you have something physical, there's going to be a quantity or value to it, even before we created measuring systems to quantify that.
Right.
I mean, you do somewhat need an observer though to not only look at it but act on it and create a framework for the future as well. So I think that's
even real quick about morality.
Even like my bad, bro.
I wanted to say real quick on the topic of the stream, because I like these conversations. I was a big philosophy guy in college, but when it comes to morality being real, if we're talking about existing in the universe in a way that doesn't involve social engineering or socially constructing it, I would just challenge anybody to show examples of morality without consciousness. So let's say prior to consciousness entering the universe via animals and organisms here on Earth, where could we find morality outside of that?
I actually agree with that framework or question.
Well, no, I don't think you.
We were originally talking about. Oh, go ahead. Okay.
No, go ahead. I cut you off.
Because that's a more better way to say it regarding that morality exists outside of like the complexities of consciousness or the human brain or just the brain in general.
Yeah, right? Just consciousness, period. Because I think sometimes I think when we talk about the brain and consciousness, we only talk as if we are the only organisms that have that.
I agree. Yeah.
So when you're talking about socially constructing things, there's plenty of organisms that socially constructed things before apes were even in the picture. So
I agree that morality don't exist without consciousness, but it doesn't mean that. But that's kind of the conversation we having. But I'm saying morality is true. So I think saying morality doesn't exist without consciousness is different from saying morality isn't true unless consciousness exists. Morality is like
real. Are we saying true or real? Which one?
I'm saying I guess real. I guess I don't know. In truest, I just want to admit you took a lot of philosophy in college. I took a lot of political science. So I'm far outside my purview. So if you know something that I don't know, just correct me.
Yeah, but I don't know. Political conversations, I'm outside of my scope there. You got me.
Yeah. I took political science, so I'm almost uncomfortable. But like, I look at it like this: like, say there was no games, right? So if there's no games, there's no rules of a game. But it don't mean that the rules aren't real. If that makes
I agree. It's kind of because like
they don't, but they apply, like you said, with the consciousness. The rules only apply once the players exist.
Yeah, correct. But you talking about social structures though. The social structures form morality in population, and that can shift. Different populations have different taboos. What's wrong and what's not wrong? It can be different in different cultures.
So when we're talking about like real and trueness and things like that, you first have to define like what it is you mean when you're saying those words, because if it's just simply does it have implications on everyday life, I could say, yeah, like for example, race is socially constructed, but race has real world, real life implications on everyday life. I could say money is socially constructed. The value we add to a piece of paper is completely socially constructed, and it's completely subjective where you are in the world, even state to state. So
it's no different. It's no different. It's no different than when chimps when the hierarchy chimps, when they get to eat the meat, and the other lessons don't get to eat the meat. It's a structure. The social structure going on. You see that in the other primates too.
But just because something is socially constructed, it doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't have real world implications. So that's where I think where neuroscientists and philosophers say that these social subjective things are real. I think that's what they're trying to say. But if we're having a discussion about whether things exist in the fabrics of our reality, whether or not there's things constructing them, I don't think morality exists in that aspect.
I think of what you're saying though. I think we're talking more about conditional versus fictional. Like when you play chess, like I play chess. If you're saying that like chess has rules. If you don't have any players, right, you don't have the chess, but that don't mean that the rules is that's what I was trying to say with the game per aspect. So if the morality, I just think morality exists. It may exist conditionally, but that don't mean that it's fictional. Like it might, I agree with you. It may need consciousness in order for it to exist. But it doesn't mean that because if you don't have the consciousness, it's imaginary. It just, the conditions haven't been met in order for you to see it as real yet. If that,
just because we created and constructed this thing that's now socially accepted in certain regions of the world, like I said, it doesn't mean it doesn't have real world implications. It would almost be like saying murder isn't real, because the concept like that would be like someone saying, all right, like murder, it doesn't exist because murder is something we conceptually came up with for certain conditions of the killing. Like, no, murder is a real thing. Murder is a absolutely real thing. Yes, we socially constructed it, but we actually constructed it for a damn good reason. And that's how I look at morality.
That's what I'm going to get at. It's like from an anthropological perspective. I want to look at anthropology. Like all that, like the socialism byproduct is all necessary for survival. You know what I'm saying? What's necessary for this community of these organisms to survive? And the socialism is basically all these things that we say morality, murder, all that. So this is a byproduct of the socialism structure that we created for to survive, and it's just something that works. You know what I'm saying? All of it, like when you say some things, you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying? They don't work good, like race, and all that shit, racism and shit like that. That's another part that come out of socialism of these motherfucking humans. You know what I'm saying? Eight creatures that we call humans. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It's all really a survival. It works. It works in our society.
Yeah, I would disagree with you on the murder. Killing is real. Killing is real, but murder is a social construct, whether we want to believe it or not. Because two individuals.
That's what he said. Like calling it murder, making it a taboo, saying that's wrong. That's a social structure.
Just because we created murder, that doesn't mean it's not real. Like murder, thank God we created the concept of murder so we could throw people in jail.
Yeah, but why I say murder not real? Because even in today's climate, two people can commit the same exact crime, and one person be charged with murder, and one person would not be charged with murder. Could be charged with anything else. They can call it manslaughter, which carry less time. Because murder, the word murder and the description murder has certain connotation. But when we say killing, if somebody killed somebody, we understand what that means without a doubt, that is real, that he unalived them. But because there's so many different ways of killing people, and we now establish so many different descriptions, because murder is a different way of killing somebody, manslaughter is a different way of killing somebody. You have so many different descriptions of killing somebody, right? And once you start define killing of an individual under circumstances, you know, take away the true meaning.
I think you're describing homicide. So homicide would be real. That means that a death was caused by another person, right? That's right. Now, when we start talking about killing and murder, now you're talking about intent,
right?
You know what I mean, and things like that. So that's where the law comes in. Right. But recognizing something as homicide, right? Yeah. If another person, if you die by another person, that's homicide. Now, whether that person murdered you, you know what I mean, you can be charged with murder or not, because a homicide occurred. That's two different things.
Yeah, even a chef, even in the word homicide, that's exactly what it means. Human killing a human on human.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're right, chef. You're right.
Causes, right? So maybe I gave you the wrong medicine. That would be homicide, and it resulted in your death. That would be homicide. But murder would be I intended to kill you by that. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
I intended for your death to be by that. That would be murder, right? So that goes back to morality and that also. You dig what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like the laws we constructed for even things like murder, they're based upon the morality of the state, the country, wherever the hell you're at. And even with murder, there's different degrees of murder based off of, again, the perspective of, okay, did you premeditate this? Was it a spur of the moment? Was it out of passion? Et cetera, et cetera.
You know, fact, this dope conversation. This is crazy. I don't even know how we got here.
No, we got here because of morality.
Yeah, dude, y'all, I be listening.
I don't think we needed to be. I think like before we was humans, like the apes already understood like what killing and murder was. I mean, not on the level that we that we've kind of divided it up and kind of put it in these different kind of nuanced boxes or nothing like that. But I think in ape communities, they understand what a homicide is. I'm guessing that's the word I would use then, since Chef brought that to straight. You know what I mean? They already understood, like, yo, it was your fault that dude is dead. You know what I'm saying? They already understood that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're on point, because that's why it's created out of that social structure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you killed one of the pack members. You know what I'm saying? One of the
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I was describing a couple hours ago when I was saying that's how we apply our reasoning to the world, right? So, like, if you take that line in the gazelle, how would you actually describe it based on our morality? Did he murder the gazelle? Right? It certainly
so they don't. Right? So that's different because they don't have that capacity. That's a little bit different because that gazelle and the lion doesn't have the capacity as that chimp. Yeah.
Just as simply killing, logic. That's why we said we create the structure and have the taboos. That's wrong. That's right. That's where you get murder, homicide, and all that. That's a social structure formed around killing. When a lion kills, let's just kill it. Period. Let's just kill it.
Yeah, the way a scientist,
right or wrong in that, because they don't have that capacity. So, like, you wouldn't be able to put that was bogus for him to eat the gazelle. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
No, you're right.
Yeah, no.
They don't have abstract reasoning.
The way we use morality is the key part of it is to determine whether the particular action was deemed right or wrong, right? So since their particular way doesn't operate like that, our morality doesn't even fit what they doing.
Right.
That's why, yeah. That's why I said morality is a byproduct of ape survival. I think ape created. You know what I'm saying? That's the ape thing. You know.
It's absolutely a byproduct. I think it's a byproduct of the strength in numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can see it too in other animals on a certain level, right? Because like if you look at, I hunt, so like what white-tailed deers do, we got white-tailed deer here, you know. And so what they'll do is they all compete to be on the outside. Most of the time you'll see animals competing to be on the inside of the pack, but they want to be on the outside of the pack because it's seemingly, I'm saying it's a moral thing, right? Because they you know, if it's a predator, you know, they can flicker their tail and you know, that predator will like be alarmed on that tail flickering, on that white tail. And so that particular gazelle think he can get away. Like, yo, let me be on the outside, because if I see the motherfucker, I'm gonna flicker my tail, he gonna chase me. You know what I'm saying? And I can get away. That's basically what that's, and so you see that survivability through that, and I think that's a moral. I think that's kind of an evolutionary. That's a foundation to where morals come from. You see what I'm saying? That's the byproduct. Where now we can, as humans, once our brain has evolved, now we can determine and we can put that in a language. We can put that flickering of the tail in a language now. We can describe it. You see what I'm saying? That's all that is. It's just a byproduct of those things. Yeah, go ahead.
Correct. I agree with you. Because moralities were created to protect the survival of the group. So when elephants cluster together and put their young in the center, or when penguins sit on the egg for months to protect them young, it isn't about survivability. It's something that was created by human beings for the survivability of the group. Without the group, there wouldn't be no
that's what I'm saying. You got to protect the offspring. You know what I'm saying?
And then guess what? Bra said something earlier, that the rules are waiting for the game to be. That's not true. Because even the game of chess, the rules have always changed. Back in the day, you couldn't pass a pawn. Now you can pass a pawn. Back in the day, you couldn't cross and kill a pawn. Now you can do it. That rules are created also. Rules don't just wait for the games to be created. Game has to be created before the rules are created. Soccer, when it was first created, was a dangerous game. Even football, we know it. But the rules change. The game's created.
Only rules in reality that stay the same is the laws of physics. And those rules, like reality, like that's the only rule that stay the same.
Yeah, and it only stays the same.
About the laws of physics, since you brought that up, when we kept talking about like the structure and patterns of the universe and stuff, I do know when it comes to he brought up subatomic particles, when it comes to like things on that small of a level, there is quantum randomness. So when you're dealing with things on that level, patterns begin to fall apart, structure begins to fall apart, laws of physics start to get defied. So even when we're like trying to use math and science to measure certain things, there are still many aspects that we cannot quantify because of quantum randomness.
Right. And tell them when they go to different dimensions. 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional maths don't work like 3-dimensional maths. Or 5-dimensional maths don't work like 3-dimensional maths. So when you start talking about those things, we never create, the universe don't need maths. Because the concept of maths that we think we understand, we don't. We only understand it at this dimension. When it becomes too small, we don't understand it. When it becomes too large, we don't understand it. When it becomes more multidimensional, we don't understand it. We created maths to understand the universe.
Math does not change because it's not discovered by experiment. 2 + 2 = 4, no matter where you are, when you are, whether humans exist or not. Math is necessary. If it changed, reality itself would be incoherent. Math is timeless, invariant, necessary. Not physical, but very real.
You know, they used a key word there. You know, it was a key word there. They used a word, it was coherent.
I'd say that when
that's a key word right there.
When it comes to the quantum level, when it comes to the subatomic level, reality is incoherent. When you look into
see, let me tell you something.
Earlier, they didn't get that.
It's true. I just realized who you are. Shouts to you. Because I saw you dog walk a motherfucker I really don't care for. I really, and you I remember you. This was at like 1 a.m. on the channel with all them girls. Not girls, but
oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know
the channel with all them women.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Right, and yeah, exactly. So I appreciate you in a way. So I don't even mind. Like, and I agree with you on the laws of physics. That's 100%. But just so
I gotta say to you, I really enjoy and appreciate every stream y'all do. Y'all the best show in this YouTube space, I'd say. As I'm going to work, chilling at the gym, like you guys have some really entertaining and educational conversations.
I appreciate that. And that when Stu Pease and we all appreciate that. When Stu Pease was talking about particles and subatomic particles.
Hey, Gullah, you gonna be ready today? My bad, Brad. Go ahead, Brad.
Oh, I apologize if I made a mistake when we started talking about particles and subatomics and 2D and 3D and dimensions and all of that. Because this is when I was saying earlier, like, I don't mind having these kinds of conversations. But the thing is, if somebody like Stu Pease, or I know he know what he's talking about. Once he goes to another area, the only thing that I can do with my limited expertise is start talking about counting particles. Now I don't know that they disappear and quantum nothingness and all the other. That's what I was trying to say earlier about we could have a conversation, but I fear I'm getting to a point where I'm just gonna be talking to motherfuckers that know what they're talking about, and I don't really know that much about it, right? So that's what I was trying to say.
We always do. Even the motherfuckers that know what they talking about. Even the motherfuckers that know what they talk about eventually runs to a motherfucker that knows more than them. Right. It always.
But look, hold up. I don't want you to miss this point right here, Brad. Because what Corey was what he was alluding to was the word coherent, right? And I think the key part of that would be coherent to who, right? That there's gotta be some other
it takes a brain to be coherent.
It's gotta be necessary for it to be coherent to somebody in order to even make that particular statement.
That makes
right?
sense.
Because the universe doesn't rely on me understanding it. Math relies on me understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like there's another element. Yeah, there's another element. Like you can't just have two rocks and have math. You gotta have somebody to use the math in order to describe the relationship between the two.
But again, like my man said, on a super subatomic particle, the physics do, as we know it, do break down, and so like those things. The universe is coherent. One thing a guy said that I always, when we have these conversations, I always kind of had this in the back of my mind as I'm having this kind of conversation is the universe don't owe you no motherfucking explanation. You know what I'm saying? It don't owe you no explanation. So what little is then revealed that's what is then revealed, and some things we just can't know. And I'm comfortable with that. But go ahead, y'all keep going.
I was gonna say I hope somebody can pull up what like a Neil deGrasse or somebody says, because like in a lot of these conversations, like is it real or not? A lot of experts like Neil deGrasse will tell you like two things can be true. Like it's invented and it's discovered. And like a lot of people use quotes like we discovered the rules and we applied the tools, shit like that. So it's kind of like describing that shit that y'all talking about. So I think it is both invented It's invented.
You watched the interview.
And discovered.
Betty, you watched that interview with Neil and the guy. The same question was asked of Neil if maths was invented or discovered. You watched it. I know that you watched it.
Yeah. He was saying that like the same shit y'all said, like we use tools to describe what we see in reality. But we still need somewhat of an observer to create a framework and to add on and to create a phenomena based off the math. And the complexities of our brain indeed plays a huge part in that.
Have you guys ever heard of the observer effect?
Yep.
Yeah. Hell yeah. When you observe something, it collapses into a
Yep. So even when you get to the point where you can perceive something, because of the thing you're using to, like, for example, if you shine light on an electron, you're not going to exactly see it the way it was prior to you observing it.
So the photons is the same size as the electrons.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, So the photons that's coming off the damn flashlight or the light that you turn on in the room or whatever laser, you know what I'm saying? You shooting particles at whatever particle you're trying to look at. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Hey, Corey,
or even in like sociology, right? In sociology, when you have someone observing a person, right? That person is liable to act different because they are aware they're being observed.
Absolutely.
So observer effect, it plays a role in what you're looking at.
Yep, and many.
That's interesting. That's an interesting correlation right there.
That's a thing that religion then co-opted before we actually understood what an observer effect is.
And look, you know what's crazy? As humans, we create sayings like "you are who you are" when no one's looking. So that's the funny shit about it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's a crazy thing. Like how religion was able to co-opt the observer effect before we even understood anything about an observer effect. You know what I'm saying?
So we'll come to let me ask a question. Have we come to a consensus?
Damn,
Your mic off.
They kind of. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me yet?
Yeah, I hear you now. You gotta be lower though. I hear you. Yeah, you good. You good.
Now I'm gonna say they showed us. They kind of showed us some observer when they did the cartoon back in the day with the WD frog. Remember the frog going on that crazy? Every time the frog along, they'd be singing and shit.
Oh yeah. That's basically what Toy Story. Toy Story is basically an observer effect. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey Corey, you know I gotta bring this up. Anytime we start talking about observer effects, I start thinking about the Higgs boson, and I start thinking about Lawrence Krauss, Universe from Nothing. You know, it's one of my favorite books. And
absolutely.
I was going to ask Truist if he read that book and delved into that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm driving. Repeat that.
I'm sure he had, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I said A Universe from Nothing by Lawrence Krauss. Are you familiar with that book?
No, I am not familiar with that book.
Oh man, that's surprising. Like the way you talk, you need to get on that then. Like the way you talk, I'm surprised you hadn't read that. I'm surprised.
You that's right there in your lane, brother. I'm gonna send you a link. Matter of fact, I jumped in the chat. You gotta check that out because it speaks about a whole different element of it, how the God boson, that's what they call it.
The God particle.
The God particle.
Higgs field.
Yeah,
I know what the God particle is. I know what that is.
You probably know that, but you ain't. So this was pre-discovery. Right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
Just to let you know, like this is before they actually observed the Higgs boson. They actually understood the Higgs. Well, they knew about the Higgs boson, the Higgs field, or whatever, but they hadn't observed it yet. So, consider that when you're reading it too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. I'm gonna drop it to you now, though, bro. But you'll love that. That's right up your lane. It just seemed like the way you already articulate yourself and how you can move around the conversation with different words.
Yeah, he gonna like that. He gonna like that. He definitely gonna like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just joined the Discord, so yeah, drop it. I'll definitely check it
Are
out.
you familiar with Locust Cross at all? Are you familiar with going?
Put it in the book section. We got a whole PDF book section.
Yeah, I got you. I'm about to do it right now.
Yeah, so Truist, if you look in our book section, that's where all our books and stuff is at. And you can download them right to your phone.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that one's dope though. Universe from Nothing. That's some good reading.
Hey, Gullah, Central Time is an hour behind Eastern Time, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's 2:57.
All right, so you said 9 o'clock, so that'll be 10 o'clock my time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, what's the name of the what you gonna be presenting so I can make a thumbnail?
Yeah.
What?
Nigga said, yeah.
I guess you call it the people. I guess you can call it the people in the Egypt. The raw
You gotta make it sexy. You gotta make it sexy.
I got
Throw bitch at the end. Throw bitch at the end.
In the Egypt. You can't be doing no kowtowing now, Gullah. Don't get it when you get on live and you get the kowtowing to the Black Egypt niggas and shit. Now, don't do that.
I need you to go Thurman Thomas straight up the middle on the road.
You know what I'm saying? Never know. This ain't you.
I'm telling everything. I'm not making nobody happy. Nobody.
Oh shit. This shit gonna be funny tonight, boy.
That's cool. So, yeah, on that Black Egypt conversation, when is somebody actually gonna get in the ring on that conversation, so it can like finally be put to bed? Like,
hey, Truist. Time out. You asked the real question. You asked the real question, and we gonna give you a real answer. Nigga, ain't nobody getting the ring because they don't want this circus to stop. They want to keep going. Ain't nobody about to stop this. No. Yeah. As soon as somebody get clarity,
and even
ambiguity.
Yeah. And even when you beat them half to death, they act like they didn't lose.
Oh yeah, that's facts. That's facts. They act like the fight never happened.
And I say both sides will have to get in the ring with Ngozi. If y'all can't get past Ngozi, shut the fuck up. If both sides can't get past Ngozi, shut up.
And they say both sides. Because Ngozi can beat both sides up.
Yeah, they gonna have to get past him. If your position can't get past Ngozi, you gotta shut up. That should be the
they can't get past me either because half of the shit most of Miz and Ngozi brought together. So half of the shit he needs to be still be my box of bullets. You know?
Right, so y'all gotta lay it down. Y'all gotta stand in the middle, yo. Y'all gotta stand in the middle and box both sides up.
Man, forget box. John Wick these niggas.
Put them down. Because we sick of it.
Nigga, we tired. We say nigga Super Bowl coming up and they talking about Black Egypt.
Nigga, the middle of Black History Month, right? Like what the fuck?
Man, we had a historical Grammys, all type of stuff. These niggas talking about nah, damn it.
Well, shit, I was about to say.
So Dozy came on and he confirmed my position.
I was just about to say, Chef, that ain't even gonna work because Ngozi done already been on the other day and he done already said where he stood. And niggas didn't listen.
He stand with concrete core. He said he stand with concrete core.
I mean, pretty much from what I heard.
But look, Gullah and Ngozi is too quiet. Niggas act like they don't hear them niggas, yo.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that shit is frustrating.
Hey, Gullah, is Gullah up? I can't see if Gullah's up here, but
yeah,
Gullah, Gullah, you up there, and you was having a conversation with that kid God Energy. I was looking for you to get at his ass a little more. That conversation you was having with him and like 2 days ago or something.
Oh yeah. He flipped. Like every time I expose something, he act like he agree with me already. Bro, you supposed to tell me. They do some trick shit or something. They got like a bag of tricks. Like every time I try to expose him, he gonna shake his head. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, bro.
Yeah, like he kept saying like black means people with these measurements and carry this gene. He was double talking a lot on what he meant black men, and still all the while applying them to the Egyptians, and not just the Egyptians, the Levantine people, everyone contemporary to them in the region. So yeah, I was surprised.
You just got to be a little bit more aggressive.
You can't be a serious dude on anthropology and biology. You have to talk about melanated people and like everybody ain't like all humans ain't melanated. You talking about Africoid this, Africoid that, Nicoid this. So you tripping? It ain't how you like no type of.
Yeah. Yep. Tonight. Chef got to set up. Handle your business.
Yeah, we're gonna set it up real nice for you, you know what I mean? Gonna set it up real nice for you, let you go in there, you know what I mean? So everything gonna be on Zoom though. I know everybody been using StreamYard lately. I still use Zoom. I'm old school.
I do have.
I use Zoom. I use Zoom for myself. I actually like Zoom better because Zoom you can share from your phone. I think a lot of these Zoom shit to stream y'all because they be hiding. They you know what I'm saying? They don't they only want the laptop. Well, I gotta go home and get the source. No, on Zoom you can do it from your phone. So that's why I use Zoom for myself, yo.
Oh, all right, yeah. So we rolling through Zoom. Good. So we ain't gonna have no problem.
Already.
Yeah, I'm still on the Zoom, y'all. Like, you feel me? I'm old school with it.
I make money on every block. Zoom, StreamYard, Twitch, holla at me. We have.
Yeah, that Zoom. Well, Zoom actually run through my program natively, so that's why I'm still on Zoom for real, and it's more customizable.
It is. It's way better. Zoom is way better. It's more comprehensible. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's easier to work again.
It's easier to share your screen and.
You know how much money they doing COVID? Of course, the niggas gonna have the top notch audit now. They made a lot doing COVID. Nigga. Every company was using Zoom. That's the only.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's good. So we got that. I think I'm gonna do a show before I do the show with Gullah presentation. Cause I gotta do something for Black History Month. We've been playing around. It's 4 days in.
I got one for you. I got one for you. It's been 4 days in, and Mickey Fax just dropped 3 of the things on A Verb.
3 of them things on my man Verb, yo.
Yeah, Mickey Fax gotta get a salute. He gotta get a bullet note on the poster for Black History Month. That boy
he's a writing motherfucker.
Yeah, that boy different.
Yeah, he's a writing motherfucker. Like writing for him is just that shit just gotta be normal. You feel me?
No, that's it. Like I said, that's been his job since 07. I ain't had a job since 07. All he's been doing is using that pen.
Yep, just rapping. You feel me?
Yeah, it's different.
You got to go back and listen to it. You got to go back and listen to it shit about 4 or 5 times. You gonna hear some more shit. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Hell yeah. So look. So all right, for the chat. All right, my new channel, y'all. Okay. I only got one video up. I have 2 videos done, but I didn't realize that Black History Month was creeping up on me. So the video that I have done that I was going to post, I don't feel like I can post that during Black History Month because it's about a white lady. I think that'd be crazy to post a video, a biography of a white lady during Black History Month, right? So, you know what I mean? It's crazy, right? Corey, I finally did our girl, Madeline O'Hare.
Oh yeah, that's my girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a video.
That's good shit. That's good shit.
Yeah, for her that I've been had in the clip, so I did that. But then I'm like, shit, I can't drop it now because it's Black History Month. Like, what I look like dropping that on the channel as my first video for Black History Month? I can't do it. You know
well,
I
that's a good conversation though for after Black History Month. I think you should put people in the chamber. Yeah. And then, after Black History Month, that way we can have on the other channel, like we can have a discussion on the carnival. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. So this one, I started working on the J.A. Rogers one, right? But then I can't do J.A. Rogers alone for Black History Month because of Carter G. Woodson. And then Gullah and them brought up yesterday, motherfucking Arturo Schomburg. So, like, how can you talk about Black history, right, without mentioning those 3? You dig what I'm saying? So I was like, I got to redo the whole format to combine all 3 of them to make it comprehensible. And it goes into our argument about Diop and them, because I feel as though they would get Carter G. Woodson, J.A. Rogers, and Schomburg would give you a good understanding of African Americans or the Black diaspora concept of history, right? And why we was choosing to tell our story, right? So it's like, so the way that they use, they try to lie on Diop and them, it kind of does all of Black history a disservice. You dig what I'm saying? It does them a disservice because there was an aim for the reason why we was trying to promote our history. We thought it was going to do something for us psychologically and collectively. You feel me? It was a reason why we was doing that. So for them to try to act like it was that Diop has a generic sense of Africa, you know what I mean, and talking about everybody, no, he was not. That shit is bullshit. You feel me? And it's disrespectful. You know what I mean? Disrespectful. And I shouldn't be the one that respect Diop. Like, I shouldn't be the one that respect Diop more than them. But I feel like I'm giving more respect to Diop, right? Because he was fighting against Eurocentrism and the sanctity of Black people. Like, nigga, we more than what y'all say we are. You feel me? That was his aim. So definitely got.
He wanted to show the African contribution to humanity more than anything. Like
the Black African contribution.
Yeah, absolutely. The Black African.
Yeah, he wasn't talking about them Arab North Africans.
No,
you know what I mean? And fuck no, he wasn't talking about them.
No.
That's insane. You know? That is insane. He thought those people was fucking invaders.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
He thought those people was fucking invaders.
That's why the conscious community think that. Like, I mean,
exactly.
They
try to act like he was just talking about Africans. Like, no. So that whole day, indigenous African. And my thing with Unc is, I was in the conversation with it. If you was never saying Black people or Egyptians was Black, every time we would talk about it, right, he would always go to south of Egypt. He would talk about the people south of Egypt, and he would talk about he would even talk about the wavy line pottery, and you can find it all the way in Chad and West Africa. Cause nigga, you was pointing to those people. Like I remember these conversations. If you would have just stuck in fucking Egypt, you kept going to motherfucking below the Egypt. You kept going to Chad and West Africa, showing the wavy line pottery. Remember the picture he used to show of all of the people in the the Sahara? Remember that picture of the red dots of the people all in the Sahara? Yeah, and he was showing they was all the way in West Africa, and then the people came, and then he'd show them up and down the Nile. Bro, what was you trying to convey to us, huh?
The Western Desert all this around.
I think what he was. Oh, go ahead.
No. That was a sidebar. I'll talk about that on the show I do at about 6 o'clock. But we can continue this conversation.
Oh yeah, no. I'll hold my question if we're gonna go back to the original topic.
No, that was just a sidebar. We were just going over like the future shows that we actually trying to have, and you know what I'm saying. We basically talking shop on, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so my thing is morality is our modern concept of morality grew out of our religion, of modern religion, right? So most of the time we're talking about morality, we're talking about it in the religious sense, right? And I think we don't even recognize that for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, our sense of morality is something that was natural, right? Our morals was given to us by God, right? Or is already innate in us, right? Meaning it came to the planet with us, right? Like our ability to breathe, right? When God created human beings, he gave them a set of morals, right? He spoke to Adam, and he did that. And all cultures kind of say a similar thing that has about their cosmology and their religion, right? Their spirituality and how they came to be. And it was always something spiritual that gave them their value system, right? So our modern concept of morality is definitely religious based. So it's hard for us to take that out of, you know what I mean? When most people talk about their morals, they're actually talking about their religious sensibilities. Go ahead.
That was a thing that I wanted to say earlier. I couldn't come off mute earlier, but I think when earlier in the argument where the argument was kind of getting a little more contentious is where, you know, certain people we're not putting on the table that certain people is looking at it from a because somebody brought up the word intelligent design, right? So, you know, some of us we actually look at it from that way. So all of us ain't atheists, you know what I'm saying, Chef? So like sometimes when you're having that conversation, we having it from two different points of view, so we miss that, you know what I'm saying, within the conversation. So that's got to be kind of put on the table.
No, I recognize it though, Corey. Like, so I'm that's always in my head when we're talking about this, because I even know where my morals come from, my understanding of morality, even yours. We profess to be atheists, but we wasn't atheists our whole life. Atheism didn't shape our morals.
I still say I got Christian values.
Yeah, our personal religions shaped our motherfucking morals. Even the United States justice system, right, is shaped by Judeo-Christian values. So it even goes back. You feel me?
It's a large portion of it. I wouldn't say 100%, but it's a majority.
It's the basis. Yeah, it's the basis. You dig what I'm saying?
Even
the fact that they to get sworn in as in political office, they even take their oath over the Bible. You dig what I'm saying? Like, so it shows you that it's ingrained, right? When you take those certain oaths, right, you're swearing on, you know what I mean, your religious morality that comes out of, yeah.
I think it's a little tricky because, like, I agree with you saying, but like, say a person when it comes to morality, that's what I'm saying. How do we define it? Because, like, some people look at morality and how certain people word it is basically prioritizing oneself in every circumstance. So, like, a person who rob a motherfucker and they ain't taking into account, that's wrong, and they just focused on what they got to do. Like, a lot of people vary in that. Some people are more susceptible to being more empathetic and understanding that than others. There's really people who you walk around and see who lack that thing y'all talking about more than others. You know what I mean? And I think
that's the consideration too. Yeah, that is a part of it.
What's the word I'm looking for, y'all? It's a word.
And those people that have that deficiency, depending on the dominating moral system where they live, they'll be deemed a sociopath.
And look, and they say, and a lot of scientists say prioritizing oneself over everything is advantageous in certain aspects. I'm not gonna say, but
right. But
focusing on one's goal and doing whatever to whatever, whether it's business. That's why even certain people who are millionaires, billionaires, Brass talked about this the other day, fucking people over in deals and not even caring one bit. They just trying to get to the bread. That's just how certain people wire, bro.
Yeah, but you gotta understand why, because you gotta understand our base survivability is as a social species, right? So we can determine that just because we can determine that that's immoral. Like, it's no dilemma whether those people are immoral or not, whether they
don't you consider greed? Do you consider greed like immoral, or do you think like a person wanting to accumulate as much as they can without the consideration that other people are poor or whatever?
No, because that's not how we develop. Like, you get something's wrong with you. Because you know what I'm saying? Because we're a social species.
Is there something wrong with him? Is there something wrong with him, or is that subjective?
You have to take into account.
No, it's not subjective. It's an objective thing.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we have evolved as a social species. So in order for our survivability as a human species, right, there has to be cooperation. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the guy that's getting over or trying to be greedy and not cooperate is, he's a hindrance to the species. You know what I'm saying? Like,
question, because I want to switch it a little bit. Like, the same way we actually is morality real. I think the way I'm thinking about it is like a person asking if love is real. Like, the way science would explain it, they wouldn't say love is necessarily real, but they can pinpoint certain regions of the brain that lights up or whatever to identify why you're having that specific sensation or whatever. So
that's a description of a byproduct. That's what all the same thing. It's the same thing as the other thing.
Like,
so you just talked about the
neuroscientists. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're good. I'm just saying you just talked about the brain activity that you can point to. So the description that we give that brain activity is love. That's you know what I'm saying? Like, we can see the byproduct of the brain. We don't see the brain activity. We only see the byproduct of the brain activity. Right. We only see the affection, the grooming one another. You know what I'm saying? The eye contact, or whatever, however we express it. That's just a byproduct of the brain activity that's going on.
What's this conversation about today?
Dealing with the brain.
What are y'all talking about today?
No, it would be, I think the word that I'm looking for would be, I think our morality comes out of the religious sense nowadays, and the word that I'm thinking of is what they call providence, right? meaning like God is watching over everything that we're doing, right? That's kind of the sense, you dig what I'm saying? Of
something like the Ten Commandments or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's providence, meaning
That's
God
running
is,
along the lines of virtue signaling, Chef. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. But go ahead.
But that's why we use the Bible. That's why it was traditional to use the Bible in court, right? To swear, meaning God is watching. His watchful eye, you know what I mean, is over all that we do, even the things that we've done that is done in secret, right? Man might not know, but God knows. So that should that should inform your morality, right?
Right.
Even if you can get away with something, right? According to man, don't do it because something sees you. Something over that, you know what I mean, can actually see you do. So that kind of inform our morals more than anything. You dig what I'm saying?
That's the observer effect.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
mean,
Religion co-opted that or before we even understood it. Religion had already co-opted it.
Yeah, you said that earlier, Corey. Good point. Yep.
Yeah.
And on top of everything you're saying, Chef, it's also whatever religious text or creed you're holding to, your morals are going to be in line with the deity you believe has that sovereignty over you. So you're going to have the value and moral system of Yahweh, of Allah, of whomever it is you are adhering to.
That's a fact.
Is this an even conversation about morality? Is this like a thing saying morality is subjective, objective is not real? Is this what this is?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, look, this is my atheist brethren. Since y'all want to stick to morality, it wasn't morally right yesterday that somebody said that Negro meant mixed in the 1970s. How about that one? How about that
morally
one?
wrong?
And then once to morally not let it go that the ancient Egyptians were black, but black people, Negroes, was this Negro in the 70s? It was mixed people. You know.
No, Reggie was just wrong and lying.
Reggie was
Matter of fact, Reggie, not he was wrong. He was lying.
Yeah, that wasn't morally right.
It wasn't.
All right. So what? So now what? The thing is, atheists are saying. Is this the thing of atheists saying that? Who's to say what is morally right and morally wrong? Is that what this is?
Yes, it's subjective.
Why do y'all do this? You guys, this is the thing. You guys want to be Dr. Spock over here. You know, everything has to be facts. You know, everything has to be to the nitty-gritty facts. Like, you know, it's wrong to steal. You know it's wrong to kill. You know it's wrong to
It's only because we humans said it was. It's not nothing
Cuban.
It's not objective. It's not objective about that.
The question would be, why is it wrong? Why is it wrong?
Why is what wrong?
What you just said was wrong. Why is it wrong? Where did you learn it was wrong?
It's wrong to kill?
Yeah, we all know it's wrong to kill, but where did you?
How do you know it's wrong to kill then?
Because society said it.
Because through our development and experience and educating, going through human development from the point of being a child to a teenager to an adult, we are constantly reinforced with the concept that murder, stealing, et cetera, is wrong.
Okay.
And we also experience these things happening to our family, and we know how it personally feels to be stolen from. We know how it personally feels to have a family member killed.
So there was
the foundation of empathy, though. So I wanted to, when y'all done, I want to go to the foundations of empathy.
So wait,
so
the issue is because an organized religion or spiritual system says it's now it's a thing. Is that what the problem is?
Said it was wrong.
No, it's just that organized religion, the organized.
I know where morality comes from. I know
the evolutionary process of morality. I figured it out. Right?
Oh my goodness.
Give me 5 seconds. Give me 5 seconds. So, or not 5 seconds, give me 15 seconds, right? So imagine, so everybody knows like seeing something, right? So when like let's say I put my hand on the table. Let's say we was all in the room and I put my hand on the table, right? And I act like I'm gonna stab my hand with a knife, right? And y'all think I'm gonna do it, but I end up don't do it. Everybody in there is gonna kind of wince a little bit, right?
That's right.
Right. That's
empathy.
That's empathy. That's the foundation. That's where empathy comes from, right there.
I said that 2 hours ago, boy.
Did you? I missed it.
I said that 2 hours ago.
Right.
Hey, no, go ahead. I'm glad you
finally. What I'm saying is being able. So what that's doing is that's you, Sheffrin. By you jumping, when I do it to my hand, that's you putting yourself in my shoes.
Exactamundo.
That's So now we can determine it's not just me that know that it's hurt and it's painful to stab my hand. Sheffrin can attest to it and everybody else that's seen it. So now we know if I was to go up to Sheffrin and stab him in the fucking chest, we can all determine that that's fucking wrong. It hurt him. You see what I'm saying? That would be, you can make your moral judgments from there. So just from the basics of the being able to, I think empathy is secondary to the fact that we are able to we're able to put ourselves in one another's shoes, though, right? I think that's a second step. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's where it comes from, Chef. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that would be more so sympathy than empathy, because
no,
that's empathy.
So if you look up the definition of the words, if you look at the definitions of the words, empathy is when you're feeling the exact same thing as whatever you're observing. Sympathy is what you just described.
That's what I just described.
No, what you described is observing someone else being stabbed or reacting to that pain, and then imagining how that would feel for yourself. You're not feeling it, you're imagining what that would feel like. And you're feeling bad.
That's sympathizing.
No, that's sympathy. That's not empathy. Empathy would be if you
is showing remorse to another person.
Right. So you felt bad that you saw how your actions.
I actually put myself in his shoes. Right. Yeah. I think Showing remorse would be like, oh, Sheffrin, after I stab him, it's like, oh, my bad, bro. Let me pick you up. I didn't mean to do that. That's sympathy, right?
Yeah, and from that point forward, you would never do it again.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's not necessarily true.
The point is empathy. The point is this: empathy requires you to be feeling the same exact sensation as the other thing. So, like, let's say you and Sheffrin both got shot at the same time. Then you can empathize because you're feeling the same exact sensation.
Yeah, but no, we both been spoke with this knife before. That's why he can wince, because he already know what the poke feel like. You see what I'm saying? And I know what the poke feel like, right?
Okay, so that's different. If you're saying in this scenario, you've already been stabbed before in this scenario, sure. But if it's a situation where
not just the act of being stabbed, but we've been poked with a sharp object.
Right. It's sympathy.
Same difference. What I thought you were saying is you're a human being that's never been poked in your life before, but because you saw how Sheffrin reacted to it, now you say to yourself, this is wrong. That's sympathy.
Yeah, that's different than what. That's slightly different than what I was saying. Yeah, go ahead, though. Go ahead, Chef.
So my understanding of it is sympathy is the ability to feel sorry for someone. You know what I mean? And empathy is to feel with someone. Meaning, I don't have to go through that, but I could imagine if that would happen to me, I wouldn't like that either.
Or if that,
right.
You get what I'm saying? That sympathy is like, yo, I feel sorry that happened to you, right? If you lose a child or a loved one, right, I show my sympathy, right? But then empathy is when I can put myself in your shoes, and that never happened to me. And we all do that, right? If somebody say, yo, I just lost my son to gun violence, right? I will put you'll imagine yourself losing your own son and empathize with that feeling. You feel me? I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want that to happen to nobody. That's empathy. You feel me? Now, when I'm just sitting around feeling sorry that you done already got fucked over, you had my sympathy. You know what I mean? But if I put myself in your shoes, that's my empathy, right? And we all
you can't have sympathy without empathy. You can't.
Yeah, they kind of go together, but
yeah, they kind of go together. But like where I always drew the line is, if you never lost your son to gun violence, how the hell could you say you empathize with that? Even if you try to imagine what that feels like, you've never lost a child to gun violence. So how could you truly know what that person?
But then you're empathizing. A lot of people even say, I couldn't imagine with that going through that, but you know, you can still imagine it though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you don't know how that person feels though. You like you trying to imagine what it's like.
We know what it feels to have a lost one. I mean, although we haven't, you know, because I didn't lose a child, I know what it feels like to lose a loved one. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know what I mean? It don't have to be a one-to-one to be able to empathize, right? You know what I'm saying? Like just because, you know, the way I experienced pain was by getting hit by a car, and you experienced pain by, you know, getting stabbed. We can both empathize. Like we can understand, like, yo, that's got to be you're in a very uncomfortable position, right? And I can put myself in your shoes and kind of imagine, you know, not a one-to-one, but kind of imagine how you feel. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it says empathy does not mean you agree with someone or feel exactly the same thing. It means you understand their emotional experience, right? So, and sympathy, right? It means you acknowledges someone's pain, right? I can acknowledge, like I sympathize with that. You know what I mean? So it's about connectedness, right? Empathy, you have more of a connection with it. You know what I mean? You're taking on that pain. You're putting yourself in someone else's shoes, right? You understand what that feeling could feel like, right? Like
right.
I empathize with that, right? But sympathy is just is more distant, right? I don't know what that feel like, but damn, that's fucked up. You feel me? That's fucked up.
So morality is that more complex way to express those things. You see what I'm saying?
Meaning I don't have to go through it to empathize with you. It's more complex. I can imagine that feeling, right? I can put myself there. I can imagine seeing my child starving, right? So I don't want that to happen to somebody else, right? That's where our morals come from. Damn, that's fucked up what they did to those people. We should make a law so that shit shouldn't happen to other people, because nobody will want that to happen to them. We can put ourselves in other people's shoes. Like, that's how I see it. I could be wrong. I'm fine.
No, I think that was perfect.
That was good. Yeah.
But that's where I think morals, part of our morality come from. Even though we're Cuban at. Cuban, you still here? Even though religion didn't codify what human beings feel, right? And books and say that God said this or that, but it was human beings living in societies who knew that, yo, if we take from each other, it wouldn't be right, right? Nobody would want that. If I kill somebody, right, that wouldn't be right. So you dig what I'm saying? They like Corey said, religion hijacked, you dig what I'm saying, our empathy and created their moral code, right? I think it was already something that we arrived at from our empathy, and they kind of hijacked that.
How did we know that it was? How did we know that stealing from somebody was wrong?
From empathy, meaning I know if somebody take my shit that I didn't work 3 days for, and they just come and take that. Yeah, I wouldn't like that either.
So where does feeling come from? Where does that come from? Where does that feeling that I was wrong? Where does that come from?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes from your brain. It comes from your
Sure about that? Are you
yeah.
sure that somebody stealing from me and me being upset about it, that came from my brain?
Where else would it come from? Yeah,
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. No, I'm just saying because. No, but this is what I mean by when we start talking about certain certainties, right? I'm just curious. I don't know if we know, like, the feeling of being wrong. That seems like I don't like to say you know where that comes from. That's a bold statement, I think.
No,
to say
like,
that I went and herded all of these cattle, and then somebody took it from me. Now, that sounds like you should just automatically know that that's wrong. I'm just trying to figure out how we know that that's wrong. How did the first person that did it?
No, that's a little bit past, that's a couple steps past empathy, Sheffrin and Brash, right? So that's when, at that point, right, when we're talking about stealing and taking from one another, now society, that comes from human beings. As a group, the group has decided that Brash taking Sheffrin's cows is wrong or immoral.
But where is that?
The morality, like I said, the morality, the basis of morality comes from empathy and sympathy, right? So that's our. Those are our.
I hate to be an asshole. I hate to be an asshole, Paul's Court. I hate to be that, but I'm just saying, if it came from society and we decided it, I'm saying, where did that? What caused us to decide it? Was that morality already there?
Right.
That's
no. That's a process, Brass. That's a process that happens over time.
So the evolutionary. Oh wait. So you're saying that the
that shit go all the way back to apes.
Right. So the evolutionary.
I mean, they steal shit from each other and shit. Yeah.
So the evolutionary process discovered something that was already there.
No.
We evolved to discover, because at one point taking somebody's stuff wasn't the same as whatever we grew to it. When we had to make laws that still.
You'd have to develop society first, right? Before,
right? But evolution, but our evolution. But what I'm saying is, our evolution. If we're saying that this is we evolved to do that. I don't think the first time somebody stole something, we thought that person felt wrong. Well,
by the time we became Homo sapiens, in the ape community already. Yeah, by the time we became Homo sapiens, we took from apes already. Yeah. We already had from our apes.
Yeah, we already knew it already.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a wait, real quick, Shaq. So stealing from another person and that person feeling wrong existed before we put a name to stealing, and we put a name
before humans.
Before we knew what empathy was.
Humans did.
Right. Wait, no. Because that's the interpretation.
Before we was Homo sapiens, we had already knew that.
You have to, but you have to have a mind to put a name to it.
No, I'm saying they were apes. The apes had already determined that. Those apes, our ancestors, those hominids, those early hominids, had already.
I think grass is.
You can look in chimpanzees community.
I think Truett understands what I'm saying.
I think Brass is asking, like, even when you say it started with apes, I think he's asking, well, where did the apes develop it from? And I think, well, I'll say this. I'll venture to say this. I think it's more than empathy. I think it's also consequences. So even when you see apes stealing from other apes, that other ape they stole from is going to come back and whack them in the head. So I think just a part of our nervous system and our nerves developed in a way that let us know hey, if I take this from this other ape or this other primate, there can be a violent consequence. And then also, yes, the empathetic part of it played a role in it too. But I think
Plus
a
the
lot of it,
survivability too. Like we can't
yeah,
steal from one another. We ain't
a
gonna
lot,
survive. Like we figured that out as apes. Like that stealing, we can't make it like that. We already figured that out as apes.
yeah,
You know
a
what I'm
lot
saying?
of it is us realizing how unsafe it is to steal from another, because there's violent consequences to stealing.
Yeah. And then too,
I believe.
in eight communities, you already had a us versus them too. So all that shit playing a role in that.
Yeah, but one of the things that we have to take into consideration, right or wrong, is learned behavior. We might not want to agree with it, but it's primarily learned behavior. We learn through generation what is right or wrong. If you come from a culture or a system where you have no problem killing somebody who has on red because you have on blue, you will not show any empathy towards that person or any sympathy towards that
No,
person.
they know that's wrong. The people doing it, so they still know that's wrong.
I know they know that's wrong, but I'm saying that. But the empathy and the sympathy, what they should possess with wrongness, because wrongness comes with a level of empathy and sympathy. You know, when you know that you do something wrong, right? It comes with that level. Many persons will not agree with me, but if you show a lack of willingness to show it, it's learned behavior. You learn that you're not supposed to feel sorry for that person. It go back to the monkey and the banana experiment. The monkey and the banana experiment, where banana was put up on top of a ladder, and every time the monkey go up there, they turn on the water and it wet up all the monkeys. After a while, new monkeys were interchanged in the experiment, and all of a sudden people don't go up the ladder, although the bunch of bananas up there that they like, and they beat up the new monkey that going up the ladder, and nobody know why they did it. But you need to go and look up the monkey and the banana experiment.
That's a good experience. That's a hell of an experiment. I like shit like that. I love shit like that, bro.
You know it, Corey, right? You know it. Yeah, but that show a rightness or a wrongness. There was no rationale behind it, but it was wrong because generations of monkey tell you that it's wrong. It's not wrong because you feel any wrongness to it. And that is how we learn what is right and wrong.
After a while, I would say, like, after a while, like, those offspring are developed that way. But we were talking like where it comes from, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, it comes from society.
Like me, us two peas. Yeah, we just doing it because what Granny said. The only reason why we behaving because Granny told us to behave, right? But we talking about the origins of it more so, right?
Yeah, no, but Granny.
I mean, even a toddler doesn't exactly know not to take toys from the other kid until you instill it in them.
Right,
like,
right.
You do have to instill certain things. They're not just all quite natural.
No, it's definitely not. No.
Rightness and wrongness is learned behavior. We just have to understand that. So we say it wrong because we learn that it's wrong. And that's why, and we say it right too. Because when you look at it, if we go back to a situation like Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime, that's fundamentally wrong on all levels. But guess what? People are conditioned now to say it's not so wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong to bust up people in trains and put them in the gas chamber because them animal. The Rwanda situation is another example. Right?
Sometimes they don't even be believing with it. I think that we're in a new day where we got so tricky with our brains that we can actually, like, we lie on a different level now that wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, our brains is so tricky that it's almost working against us now. You know what I'm saying?
No, because that's
cases like that.
But now we can lie on a level that's diabolical.
People,
but it's learned behavior
for a reason to do things, and at that point, it's just confirmation bias. Like,
right, but it has to do with rightness and wrongness. What you perceive as being right and what you perceive as being wrong. If society tell you that it's right, and you wanted it to be right, and you feel that it's in your best interest that is right, you're going to follow along. And soon after, generations of people will tell you that you're right. Because it now becomes the acceptable norm So rightness and wrongness is learned behavior. Trust me on that. Trust me. Learn, we learn.
No, it's not. It's not 100%. Don't speak out.
What?
Nothing's 100%, but go ahead. Go ahead.
No, because I read off. Hold on. I read off the conclusion, and it didn't say that from scientists and geneticists. It says using evidence from evolutionary biology, developmental psychology, and neuroscience. We have come to realize that morality is not merely the result of cultural learning handed to us from our family, peers, and environment. Morality was selected by evolution in our human ancestors in order to promote cooperation and smooth social interactions. Developmental psychologists have demonstrated that some building blocks of morality are in place very early in development. That's what I was trying to say, the logic earlier, which composes a biological component. Additionally, the parts of the brain and the brain chemicals involved in morality and decision-making are beginning to be identified. The medial prefrontal cortex plays an important role in interpreting and understanding the thoughts and mental states of ourselves and others. The amygdala is important for emotional, positive, and negative reactions. The prefrontal cortex is important for caregiving behaviors, morality, and decision-making by combining cognitive and emotional processes necessary to guide social behavior. And the prefrontal cortex plays a role in self-control. The insula provides the foundation for being aware of how our body feels. And the posterior superior temporal, blah, 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 is a key region to understanding the intentions of others. So that's why I say, depending on a person's brain, these degrees or levels or aspects dealing with the brain may be different than others, as to why you may see physically why some people may be more empathetic than others. That's all I was saying.
So what you're saying is that people come into this world with a written code already.
No, again. In a lot of these convos, it's not an either or. It's called a feedback loop system, like in evolution. When you're trying to master your environment and your brain responds to it, and you try to pass down. Go ahead.
So you're saying that morality is genetics?
I said it's a. See, look, is this nigga listening to what I'm saying? I said it's both. Like in a lot of these convos, we think it's either or. Like I'm learning in most of these convos we talk about, it's not a yes or no. It's somewhere in the middle.
What did I say that was wrong?
Hold on.
I said something that you said it. I just repeated what you said.
No. You said you was saying.
I'm asking a question.
Morality is learned.
All right then. Is morality genetics? Genetic based?
No, it's not. It's not fully, but it plays a role because you're talking about the brain and things like that. So it's a biological component to it. Yes.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king horses and all the king men. We don't sit on walls around here. I love you because you're eager.
Again, I just repeated what a neuroscientist said. So it ain't about.
Do you agree? Do you agree with neuroscientists? Do you agree with him? You agree with him? All right. And he said, then I ask you the question.
Wait.
If you agree with what the
your question, you can't ask me.
If you agree with what the neuroscientist said, answer the question. Is morality genetic based?
Why are you trying to tell me? I literally just said it's environmental and it's biological. It's both.
All right, so the answer is yes.
And the variation that you see in humans plays a part in that. Like even when you see children, bro, I literally read out. When you see children,
the answer is yes, then, right? If it's both, the answer is yes.
Niggas be too. If it's both, no, you know why? You know why it's not yes? Because one person can hear that and say, I'm using a 100% genetic argument. Do you get it? So that wouldn't be right. So I have to say,
but you are using a genetic argument. You are using a genetic argument. That's why you went to a geneticist.
No. This is the thing with the brain too. Like,
I'm not lying on you.
No. I said it plays a part. But you're saying
made that argument.
When I'm making a genetic argument, I'm saying it's 100%, and I'm not doing that. But you, on the other hand, was trying to say, all boys is how you gotta let me talk, bro? How you why you have a conversation like that, bro? It's like you talk to hear yourself. Like, let a nigga talk for 10 seconds, bro. You wild. But I didn't want you to put me against that, saying, oh, you saying it's genetic, which I knew you was gonna do. I'm just saying new discoveries dealing with neuroscience can pinpoint certain regions of the brain tied to what we deem as moral values and shit, bro. And environment plays a role, like religion, all of that. Like I admitted that when Chef was talking about how religion and all of that plays a role in how we see moral values and create like systems and shit like that. But when I hear scientists talk about morality, all they really say, bro, is that morality existed somewhat in animals. We just layered like language, abstract reasoning, due to the complexities of our brain, creating religion and shit like that. So it's gonna be a little different, you know what I mean? But it's mostly an evolutionary process and argument that people make. I'm saying,
hey Fetty. So stealing was wrong.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank
you. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, Stupid, meet your mic, G.
Sorry.
So stealing being moral, right? Stealing was wrong before we felt it was wrong. The feeling came later, but the moral truth that it was wrong already existed even before it happened. It's just we discovered over time that like the feeling that you felt when it happened, that was already there.
Remember we was talking about arc raiders the other day, and how depending on your environment and the circumstance, that thought of stealing being wrong, depending on what circumstance you're put in, that moral thought isn't even gonna pop up. Like especially if you gotta like, you know, make sure your offspring straight in a do or die situation, say some apocalyptic shit, some wild shit like in movies or some shit like that. Your moral judgments is gonna change, bro.
No, I agree you can override it. I agree you can override it, but I'm talking about initially. Like at the beginning. Like go back to the first time something stole something from something else. The fact that it was wrong was already there before the feeling.
But Brass, even that gets tricky because when you say something stealing something from something else, you could be talking about humans stealing food from wolves. You could be talking about like one thing stealing from another living thing, and they don't even have to be a part of the same species, or even just stealing from the earth. You know, so
like for example,
even
do you think hunting animals is morally wrong?
No, I hunt.
It's subjective.
We have a need. We have to. I don't think we always hunted, but I think at some point we got hungry enough to hunt. And I think it got to the point. I think when we realized, like, okay, yeah, this is what we got to do to eat. I think that's like a survival instinct, and I think that was there already. Hold on, but y'all about to get away from my point.
Homo sapiens was always hunting.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that, Brass. We are always hunting.
Them ribs is always touching.
Hold on, let me ask Jules a question real quick.
So you agree with evolution then, Brass?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I don't really know. I don't claim to know it. So I'm kind of just saying what I think. I could look up whether Homo sapiens was always hunting. Then I'll understand it a little bit more.
Let Brass ask this question real quick because I'm about to head out.
Homo sapiens were not always hunting, by the way. They weren't. So fire, right? So shit. Okay, all right, here you go, George. So fire, when we knew
Homo sapiens didn't discover fire.
Homo sapiens weren't always hunting.
Your humans back then was different. We was chasing shit.
Okay, so truest. Fire burned humans before humans felt pain. No, stop. Let me say it a different way. Fire burned before humans felt pain. So the pain didn't make the fire dangerous. Pain just revealed the danger of the fire. Like we didn't know that it was like, you know, don't put your hand there until we felt the pain. That's when we realized it was dangerous, but it was already dangerous before we touched it. Correct?
I'd say dangerous or relativity to us, correct? Like the fire,
right. Dangerous. Yeah.
The fire being dangerous to us doesn't require us realizing that pain.
Okay, so here go backward. Now I'm gonna bring in the morality. The harm of the stealing existed before the harm existed before guilt. Injustice existed before outrage, and wrongness existed before moral language. So feelings are more of a detector of something that's already there, not the creator of the thing that's there. So whatever guilt we feel when we stole, that's the feeling. So we detected the feeling, but that we didn't create the feeling. If that makes sense, we might have described, similar to Matt. We might have described it. We might have said, "Hey, that's wrong." That's us describing it. But that feeling already existed. We just described it because we had consciousness.
I agree, because I think that consciousness is what brings us to the conclusion this was a wrong thing to do, this was a right thing to do. But that feeling, like you said, it exists without us having to feel that stimuli.
Okay.
Like I agree with that. I don't have a problem with that.
All right.
My fundamental argument about moral.
I think when you say conscious, that's that proper word should be self-awareness or community awareness. Consciousness means to be alive, like a fly is conscious, a plant is conscious, be living.
Yeah, you can just say the complexities of the brain, but I see what you're saying with that too.
Okay.
And the evolving brain. But yeah, it's definitely evolution and like group thinking, a hive mind, and how like being disagreeable back then, you'll get your ass kicked out the group. So that's how like a cultural philosophical system gets created based off shit like that, and how everybody thinks. Or different cultures got different moral.
Yeah, it's like self-awareness and group same time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, how old is Homo sapiens sapiens?
300,000 the most.
Hold on. I mean,
Homo sapiens sapiens? Like,
yeah.
300,000 years old.
300,000. Come on, bro. He asking me. Are you crazy?
Come on, go.
Yeah.
Let's keep it. Right.
He be tripping, bro. Like,
I know, bro.
But is that general answer? Not 300,000.
Let's go forward, bro. Just go forward, because then we're gonna get bogged down in that. Go ahead, go. Let's see what you're saying.
Yeah, around 300,000. Yeah, 300,000. But 300,000, you still had like, we were still kind of a little bit archaic. Like that Javale thing was archaic. So get more and more like, even more modern when you get like a Tyrian code. At least around like, I said around 20,000. Not 20,000, but 200,000 years. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So wait, Street Bees, what do you say?
300,000. I was started hunting very soon after. The associated the development of the brain with the eating of proteins, animal proteins.
What you say, Brad?
Shit, I don't know, nigga. You know that. I don't. That's what I said. I don't. But y'all used to this. I'm not used to it. I've never discussed.
Yeah, but it's like
that shit.
Yeah, but like it's right around 300,000. But we still like them humans were still a little bit archaic, somewhat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, around 300,000 though. Like you had sapiens for sure. But you know, so no matter how they do, whatever.
Okay.
When you say always,
go ahead.
When you say always hunting,
mm-hmm.
could you be more specific?
Meaning we got food from different ways, but hunting was one of them.
So we were capable of hunting, but we didn't always hunt.
Yeah, but then when it was a part of our
diet, meaning it wasn't probably the main way of doing it, right? Scavenging was probably, you feel me?
It was an option. Yeah, it was an option. Like
when we moved
even chips hunt.
Go ahead, bro. Get it out. Get it out, brother. Get it out.
No, I'm saying that I'm saying, but I've been laborious is always an option. You know what I'm saying? Like even our closest relatives that are more basal than us, chimps, they hunt. You know what I'm saying? They hunt other smaller mammals.
But would you agree that we might have? Would you agree they hunted when it was necessary, but for the most part they weren't hunting.
Yeah.
They were just eating what was ever around them.
Yeah, like him was gathering, like we fished and gathered more than we hunted. Like hunting is hard. That shit hard. Like it's a hard thing. God, you might even.
Okay.
So fishing is not a part of hunting?
Of course it is.
I didn't say who said that?
No, so what I'm saying is Homo sapiens have always been hunting. That was my point. Now, whether it was the main mode of our diet, you know what I mean, at all times, no. But if push came to shove, nigga, we was going to take down something. It was never a case. You dig what I'm saying? So just like, you know what I mean, if you say fire, Homo sapiens didn't discover fire, right? It was lesser other forms of humans discovered fire before us. So a lot of the stuff that we think just came to the planet with us, you know what I mean, we just inherited. You dig what I'm saying? So when we talk about did we do this or did morality first start with us or different things, no, it's called evolution. A lot of these things are byproducts from what we evolved out of. You dig what I'm saying? Like the other species, right, was already doing it. But like we didn't arrive on the planet like Adam and Eve, like a blank slate where, okay, man was created at this time and God had to put, or the universe had to put all of the knowledge into that species at that time. That's not how that thing worked. You dig what I'm saying? It's evolution. Like all of these things are adaptations that, you know, the species is getting from its evolution.
It's
but since you're saying, Jesus Christ,
bro.
Go ahead, get it out, bro. I gotta let you get it out. Go. I want to hear what you got to say.
All I wanted to say was fishing is hunting in a broad sense, but they separate hunting and fishing because, like, you know, a lot of people think of hunting, they come out like you stopping it, come down. You know what I'm saying? But fishing is hunting.
So in anthropology, fishing is not hunting.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying. Listen. I can only fight you with reading, bro. I can't fight you with the 20 years of the conscious of whatever. Like I can't fight you with that. I can only look it up and say it, and then we can get to a
that's why I said the broad sense. In the broad sense, but when you narrow it down, no, it ain't.
Right. So the way it's explained in anthropology is foraging is not hunting, and what you're describing, Chef, it says early Homo sapiens were not always hunting. Foraging is not hunting. Anthropology treats them as different behaviors for very specific reasons. Hunting is actively pursuing and killing animals, high energy costs, high risk, uncertain payoff, often cooperative and episodic. Examples: chasing deer, spear hunting, big game ambush. Foraging, which would be considered gathering, is collecting existing food. It's low risk, predictable payoff, daily reliable calories, and often done by everyone. So an example would be picking fruits, digging tubers, collecting nuts, gathering fish and shellfish, and catching insects. No pursuit, no kill, no chase. The reason why they separate them, okay, so some people stretch hunting to mean anything involving animals. But scientifically, trapping is not hunting, fishing is not hunting, and scavenging is not hunting. They're all subsistence strategies, but distinct and different from each other. So if you're gathering plants and easily accessible food, that's what foraging and gathering is. Hunting refers to actively pursuing and killing animals. They are related, but not the same activity. That's the definition from anthropology.
All right. It says Yes, fishing is a form of hunting, but it is usually treated as its own category.
Okay.
Clear explanation. What is hunting? Hunting means actively seeking, capturing, and killing wild animals for food. By that definition, fishing equals actively capturing wild animals, fish. Therefore, fishing qualifies as hunting. Why do people separate fishing from hunting? Even though fishing is hunting, people often separate them because different animals, aquatic versus land, different tools, nets, hooks, spears versus bows and spears, different skills and environment, and different laws and traditions. So in everyday language, hunting equals land animals, fishing equals water animals. But scientifically and historically, both are subsistence hunting. Anthropology, right, anthropology perspective. Anthropologists often say hunting equals land animals, fishing equals aquatic hunting. Foraging equals gathering plants and shellfish. All three fall under subsistence strategies. All right, so
right, but it's so right, and I think we kind of saying the same thing. So it says the reason why classifying a fish as a wild animal doesn't equal hunting. This is science though. It says the distinction is behavioral and ecological, not moral or semantic. Hunting is the active pursuit of mobile terrestrial animals. There's a high injury risk, high failure rate. It's not daily, it's in seasons or episodic. And it requires the skills of coordination, weapons, and endurance. Think deer, bison, antelope. Fishing is harvesting aquatic animals, often passive or semi-passive, low injury risk, high predictability, and can be daily or routine, doesn't have to be seasonal or episodic. So the reason why scientists separate them, because they produce very different evolutionary pressures. Hunting favors endurance, strength, cooperation, and risk tolerance. Fishing favors planning, patience, technology, routine, harvesting. Those differences matter when explaining diet, social organization, gender roles, and brain development. When you lump them both together, it breaks the analysis. So a simple analogy will be, calling fishing hunting is like saying farming is hunting plants. You're still eating living things, but the strategy is different. Fish are wild animals. Fishing involves killing animals, but you can't say, but fishing is a form of foraging, not hunting.
Yeah,
Hey, Brass, can I say something real quick? Can I say something?
Let Gullah say that, and then you go.
I think it depends on the way you fish too. Because some people spear fishing, you know, so they go up on the water with the spear.
Y'all don't stay here too long.
Yeah, but I think it's like one of them things. It's like one of them things where, like, you know how, like, this argument come from, like, you'll ask somebody like, yeah, I don't eat meat, but I eat fish. Like, fish is meat. it's like
yeah, I get that. Go ahead, Howard.
Yeah, so what I pulled up here, just really quickly, I know everybody pulling up their chat GPT.
Yeah, because I don't know. I can only look it up.
It says to me, fishing is a form of hunting in the broad biological sense, but in modern usage, it's treated as a separate activity, just like you got to get a hunting license.
I said that
you got to get a fishing license, right? So it's treated separately, and so that's what I pulled up on the game.
I think Brad ChatGPT set up on political, yo. Like, he got the political definition.
Like, because another thing is I hunt and I fish. So I don't do it now, but growing up, I hunted
fish. You hunting fish, Brad?
Huh?
You said you hunting fish?
Yeah, when I was in the country, I hunted and I fished. And
when we younger. Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, when I was younger. I don't do it now. I can go to the fish market and fish.
I fish every day.
Right. So what I'm saying, preparing to go hunt wild game. So DQ, you would help me with this. Preparing to go hunt wild game. That's why I have an issue with them saying they're the same. Because one, it is 2 different licenses. It's 2 different rules. Now, I'm saying today, not Homo sapiens. I'm just talking about today to explain the difference. But when I go hunt, it's a completely different feeling. It's a completely different action. I'm preparing like something could happen to me. When I go fishing, I was going to relax and have fun, maybe eat whatever the fuck we caught. But we was mainly like, I was sitting with my uncles drinking and they were smoking and having fun. But when we was hunting, this was serious business. You had to be strategic. You couldn't get into the line of sight. You couldn't make a whole lot of noise. You couldn't even use deodorant or.
When you're talking about the tenements of that, right? And I agree with you, but I'm saying we have made that distinction nowadays. But
they
if you go back thousands of years ago,
no, they
did
much
the same
them
thing.
Eskimos and stuff, when they got on the ocean, they were hunting aquatic animals.
No, but
so that's why I said, Jeff, if you go back 1,000,
before we get
that's
to
why I
that,
said,
hold on.
Damn,
before we get to that,
my
Howard,
point. Damn.
Before they get to that, Howard, when they went out, there was a group in there that went hunting. Everyone was basically had the ability to forage, but there was a group that went hunting.
No. Right, but Brass, I think you are mixing. But hold on, Brass. I think you're mixing modern terms with what is really going on, because in the modern times they made a separation and saying, hey, you know, this is fishing because you on the water and like you say, it's calm and you chilling and this is hunting where, you know, a different thing. Modern. They made a separation.
Right, but then what I'm saying to you is then they made a separation also. This is a anthropology. I'm not quoting me. This is anthropologists talking about them. So they said everyone did not hunt. Not then, not now, not ever. In early human groups, only a subset of adults hunted. Children didn't hunt, elders didn't hunt, and many adults never hunted at all. They said most people, what they actually did.
Let me ask you a question, Brad.
Hold on.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Now, what you talking about in that time frame, when you saying that these people hunted, these people did not hunt, did that include fishing?
Right. That's what I'm about to do. No, that's what I'm about to say. So it said a subset of the adults hunted. Most daily survival. And what most people actually did during that time was forage for plants, roots, fruits, and nuts, fish and shellfish collecting, trapping small animals, food processing, childcare, tool making, shelter building, social coordination. Now, after agriculture, most humans stopped completely. It was mainly just farming, herding, and fishing. Hunting became ceremonial, supplemental, elite recreation, or pest control. Well, the majority of humans who ever lived.
That's a lot later, right?
No, I know. No, I said that. I said that in the last. I said after agriculture. So what is? But what the point is, for the majority of humans who ever lived, hunting wasn't part of their life at all. It was always a subset of people. We might got 13 people on this call. It's probably only two of us that could actually go out and hunt. We probably could all fish and have fun, fuck it up, do whatever.
Okay,
I
agree. But check this out. I agree, but check this out. So when we're talking about those early humans or whatever, yeah, they were only a subset that also went out and hunted big game like meat,
right?
And shit.
Right.
Most people did forage. The goddamn strongest among them went out and hunted for that red meat or whatever meat stuff. Correct. But this is what I'm saying. I think it's at that time, it's the same as let's say if you had people that were on an island somewhere and maybe there wasn't that red meat, the strongest among them went out on that damn water, and I'm going to use this word purposely, hunted big fucking fish. Am I right or wrong on that?
I mean, I don't know.
You're absolutely right.
That's but I think that's by circumstance.
You definitely are right. You definitely
yeah,
are
but
right.
I think that's.
Waters.
I think that was also circumstantial too. I don't think that's like a. When we're talking about all
your location.
No, but hold on. What I'm saying is you presented a set of conditions where fishing becomes hunting. That's what it sounds like you did. Like it sounds like you switched this.
Yeah, I'm trying to say that back
condition.
then it was synonymous. I'm trying to say that back then it was synonymous. But when we got into where we at now, then we now put licenses on things and we separate things right now. But I'm saying back then, it
depends on where the human beings lived at, right? So if the human beings lived near water, then they hunted on the water. If they lived in a forest, then they hunted in the forest. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think we're gonna adapt. You feel me? If a nigga live on a mountain, he gonna hunt on a mountain. But nigga gonna eat. He gonna take that spear and he gonna make it work, Bryce.
So I view it all as hunting, but I understand what changed and everything. But we got to realize too that we're in a country that's capitalistic, right? So they're going to put certain things on things, so you have to fucking pay to do things. So that's in the game too.
I understand.
I'm going to be my bad.
In the setting that you named, where these people were on an island. I'm just asking anthropologists, not us. Anthropologists, not us. Well, ChatGPT, I asked it to ask what the anthropologists would say they were doing. If they were only on islands, were they hunting fish? Is that a distinction? That was the question. It says no. Island peoples were not hunting fish in the same way hunting is used anthropologically and scientifically. So it says, even in societies where fishing was the central source of food, children didn't fish much, elders often didn't fish, many adults specialized in other tasks. Fishing, like hunting, was a role, not a universal activity. So island societies, they practice net fishing, trap fishing, weirs, I don't know what WEIRS is, shellfish collecting, and reef harvesting. Anthropologists classify them, even living on an island, as foraging and fishing, not hunting.
Okay, well, here's what this is my only pushback. Now we are going in a direction where the definitions of things are now clouding what's really
I was just about to say that. I'm about to say that shit.
Okay.
That's what I think.
And then on top of that, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just reading. So I could very well be incorrect.
Let me add something in, because we are reading stuff and we're reading ChatGPT, and what we're reading is leading us somewhere that I just don't get. Fishing is a form of hunting. It's just on a different plane. So it'd be in the aquatic plane. But even with hunting, when you would think about using spears were the first forms of getting fish. It wasn't no hook and line with lures and fishing. It started off with spears, which connects with hunting. And I'm speaking of this because I actually, hold up, let me finish, girl. I'm gonna let you jump in. I'm speaking of this and I'm passionate about it because I am a fisher. I wrote a book on fishing. So I'm not just ChatGPTing. This is an actual thing that I do understand, even from ancient time, that fishing was a form of hunting. It was an easier form that more people can probably take time to do than hunting for a mule deer or a damn mammoth shit. But it is a form of hunting. We're not going to get that twisted, especially with modern times.
So your statement works. Fishing is a form of hunting, just on a different plane. Your statement works in everyday.
That's after the definitions have
No,
been
I'm talking
set.
about, but I want to stay with Homo sapiens. I want to stay with Homo sapiens, and I'm going to stay that I'm not talking about everyday language. I'm not talking about conversation. I'm talking about anthropology and science. Your statement works in everyday language, but it's wrong in anthropology and evolutionary science. In everyday language, if you say fishing is a form of hunting on a different plane, that is fine conversationally. You mean taking wild animals from nature for food, and no one would ever blink in casual speech. And I agree with DQ. But in science, the statement is incorrect. In anthropology,
I hate this shit. I swear to God.
In anthropology, hunting is not defined by killing wild animals. It is defined by how the food is acquired. Hunting is the active pursuit of terrestrial prey. High injury risk.
That's the definition of hunting.
Let me finish though. High injury risk, low predictability, episodic, and often endurance-based and cooperative. Because the risk profile, energy cost, and social structure are different, science keeps them separate. So while a different plane doesn't work, it erases, when you call fishing hunting on a different plane, it erases the distinctions that separate the two that matter for evolutionary pressures, division of labor.
What is the bear doing when he jump in the water?
I don't know.
Are we arguing language?
If a bear,
before we talk about
Brass, I don't disagree with you, but I think now we're arguing language.
Hold on,
I think we're arguing language.
But before we talk about a bear, I want to talk about you telling Stu Peas to stop cutting people off.
I didn't tell Stu Peas that.
No, not you, the other nigga. The other nigga said, let you get through your thought. This nigga just yells out bear in the middle of a fucking sentence, bro. I don't know, Chef. I'm not an anthropologist or a scientist. I'm just telling you what they say. What y'all saying makes perfect sense. Hold on, though.
I think I'm smarter than the anthropologist.
What y'all saying makes perfect sense to me. When he said fishing is hunting on a different plane, that shit made perfect sense. And I hope that ChatGPT was going to say exactly. But it didn't. It said anthropologists and scientists. Can
I ask? No, ChatGPT ain't never caught.
Now I think you guys are just arguing language. We're just arguing language. That's it.
Bro, I asked a simple question. If you ask a simple question, is fishing hunting in ancient times? It's going to say simply yes. We are doing too much bullshit.
Yeah, we're just arguing language.
That's all. We're just doing.
Just arguing language.
Ask the anthropologist.
Is fishing hunting?
Okay,
is fishing hunting?
Brass, what's wrong with you guys here, Brass?
Hey, I'm just following the rules of the conversation. I asked my ChatGPT, and we all know they will say different things. And once again, I'm leaving room to be wrong. This is why I don't like talking about shit I don't know nothing about.
Well, nobody's wrong on this, Brass. We're just arguing.
Hold on. So I asked the
Brass, no one is wrong if we're arguing. It's just a language.
Now I asked my ChatGPT the same question DQ asked his.
No, I didn't ask ChatGPT. I asked regular Google, bro. I just asked regular Google.
Okay, so I asked ChatGPT.
This doesn't require that to me.
Right.
Well, I think for anthropology and science, I think it do.
For anthropology, it doesn't. People use that word like that's a big word. It's not.
I didn't say it like it was a big word. It's just a
well, it is kind of big to me.
If we're talking about Homo sapiens,
if we listen to Uncle Kent, we done heard anthropology.
If we're talking about Homo sapiens, I'd rather listen to an anthropologist.
Hey guys, I got one. Look up. Hold on. Look up. Is spearfishing hunting? When I ask is spearfishing hunting, they say yes.
Well, maybe. I don't know that.
Okay, let's say this, Brass. How about we?
I agree with Corey. We spent too much time on it.
Brass, how about we come to a medium to say, hey, anthropologically or whatever, they say this. If we're talking about laymen, this and that, me, and we say another.
That's all I've been saying since the beginning. You got to tell them that.
Oh no, I wasn't here from the beginning.
I didn't say. I said what DQ said made perfect sense. When a bear jumps in the water, I think he's hunting fish. When you throw a spear into the water, I think you're hunting fish. I'm just saying when you make a statement, I look up the stuff. This all starts because when y'all
I know what it is. I know what it is because you talking about the modern
you
sense
cut
of
a
fiction
nigga
is
throat,
what
won't you?
real. When you add a weapon with it or skill with it, fishing, that's hunting. When you're hunting someone with a weapon, that's hunting. If you jump your ass out in that river and with a harpoon and you stick it in a hippo, that's hunting.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just know when Chef said Homo sapiens always hunted, I just looked it up because I didn't know. Like the only way I could follow y'all
that's
niggas.
true. That's not true. Damn, I wasn't around for that conversation. I would have thought that's true what he said. That's not true.
But so just so we clear,
I didn't say they only hunted.
I didn't say
that was the. I said they always hunted. Meaning it was a part of our survival pack.
Yeah, that's what he said, Chef. He said they always hunted.
So,
he said that, Chef, that Homo sapiens always hunted.
But like DQ said, in order for me to participate, that's why I leave for a long time a lot of times when we be talking. In order for me to participate in these conversations, some of the conversations y'all have, when y'all say certain shit, I gotta look it up. Because I don't, so when you say Homo sapiens always hunted, if that's where the conversation is going, then I gotta look it up. But like DQ said,
and what did it say when you looked it up? Because I wasn't around. What did it say?
It says what I was saying, that they didn't always hunt.
Really?
It said the earliest Homo sapiens were mainly foragers.
Damn it! I forgot about. Yeah, you're right. We didn't used to eat meat all the time. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay,
that's Homo. We got hunting from Homo erectus. Homo erectus was hunters also, right? And we evolved after Homo erectus. So I'm not saying we didn't eat other things.
Brass is right. I remember now that we didn't used to always eat meat.
Y'all messing it up like if y'all saying that human beings are
always hunted. It's
what's the word for
human beings never always ate
specialized in hunting.
Yeah, we're omnivores.
Animal down all day.
I think Brass is right on this one. We never always ate meat. That's not true. I think Brass is right. We never always ate meat. I think he's right.
We always been omnivores.
We always ate meat.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
listen. Listen to me. Listen to me. Meat, the proteins and fat in meat were necessary for brain development.
Brain growth, right? But other humans, y'all got to remember there was more than one human on the planet, and I think Brass may be right. Like every human didn't always eat meat. I think he's right on that when he looked that up.
Well, not every human. So what are you talking about? Every Homo sapien sapien. Every Homo sapien ate meat.
Well, now we have to get the language right.
Howard. Let me say this. When he said gathering, he said shellfish. That's meat. You know what I'm saying? A primate, especially the hominid tribe, always ate meat. Though even chimpanzees.
In order to have the frontal cerebral cortex.
We're talking about the molars. We're talking about the molars and the canine.
No, we even talking about your brain, the cerebral frontal cortex.
I understand that eating that meat. I understand that eating that meat did that. But what Brass hit on, it made me think like, that's right. I don't think that every human.
So you can't even have your brain.
Top dollar. No, I know what's his face Brass might like when nah, bro. I'm telling you.
So I'm going down the wrong road.
You saying every single human? That's a whole different conversation. I don't know why y'all do that.
If we gonna do this science shit, if we gonna do this science shit, we know science is counterintuitive. We can't speak in that.
Then y'all get on y'all chat GPT because I don't think that in the beginning of humans, before Homo sapiens sapiens, I don't think they all ate meat.
How did your cerebral frontal cortex develop? Answer me that. First of all, let's stop. Let's pause.
Corey,
how did you develop?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that, Corey.
Well,
but
if you can't, that's what I'm saying. Like that's wild for you.
Let me finish.
It's wild
Can
to
I
skip
finish,
over
Corey?
that though. It's
But
wild
can
to
I
skip
finish?
over
From
it.
what I
though.
understood about things, and I could be totally way in left field wrong, and I know y'all gonna correct me because that's what makes this shit the best shit happening. I didn't think, and let me say it like this: I didn't think that all the early humans ate meat. That was something I didn't think, but
So
now you guys are telling me.
you keep switching it though, right?
Yeah, you
So
switching it
maybe
up.
Did I
early
switch?
humans didn't.
Yes.
But the Homo sapiens sapien, you saying just human, right? Humans is all
Yeah.
it's different. It's all kind of different humans, right?
I said
Right.
humans. I didn't
So
say
which
Homo
ones?
sapiens sapien. I said
Which
human.
ones?
But you had to be
Okay,
specific.
so the
now,
early we're not talking about early humans. We're talking about Homo sapiens sapien.
Okay, well, I was talking about early humans.
Yeah, you absolutely wrong, yo. Like
Okay.
even the type of apes that come from where always omnivore. Chimps eat meat. They eat other damn mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? They eat ants. Shit. Like when Brad said foraging, he included shellfish. That's fucking meat.
Okay. Well, I ain't gonna agree on that. I don't know if shellfish meat. I'm not gonna agree.
The fact of the matter is, we was talking about a specific group of humans, right? We was talking about us. We was talking about Homo sapiens sapiens, right? Am I correct with that, or am I wrong?
No, I didn't know if you were. I went another place. I didn't know if you were, but I'm saying that besides Homo sapiens sapien, the other humans are the beginning. The humans, I don't think.
From what I understand, they hunted.
Neanderthal ate meat, yo.
Or did they?
Neanderthal came before us. They ate meat. Shit. Before this,
they hunted.
Some humans. Some archaic humans was cannibals. Some
Don't bang on me, Gullah. Don't bang on me too hard, brother. I'm asking and I'm willing to be corrected.
Listen,
don't bang on me too hard.
Archaic humans were hunting. The point was that human beings, Homo sapiens, always hunted, right? Meaning, that we evolved from other species that were hunting. Now, was that the only way that we gained sustenance? No, it wasn't.
No.
But it was a part of our package. How are we all doing that?
Even if everybody didn't do it, like Brass is break. Hold on, but Brass is breaking down.
I'm wrong, and I stand to be corrected, bro. I'm wrong.
Hold on, please let me just say this, bro.
Yeah,
let me just say this.
I'm wrong.
Let me just say this, bro.
I'm corrected on that, bro.
All right, okay. Let me just say this. Like Brass is breaking down a community of people doing different things. If that community have hunting in it, then the people hunting. The people as a group together. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna do it in the community, but that community would be considered hunter gatherers. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, people hunt. You know what I'm saying?
The spear goes back 500,000 years.
Look up spear hunting. Look up spear hunting. Spear hunting
exactly.
is
The spear goes back
because
500,000 years.
And I think the difference is when it comes to that, I think Brass is
So I guess I got into some blackology shit that fucked me over then. Yeah. I got into some blackology shit that fucked me over. We wasn't eating. Okay.
Can you just look in the chat, bro? And I think you probably don't even understand the different classifications.
Well, that's a good point.
Right
that blackology will fuck you over, bro. That's dangerous. Bro. That
I told y'all Howard was a blackology.
That shit is dangerous, bro.
Yeah, that sounds like Howard, what you doing? That sounds like a Dr. Sabi point or something.
Yes, Dr. Sabi, that was before the hominids now, nigga. They didn't eat meat, nigga, no mucus.
Okay, niggas, they got me. And I could turn and pivot and listen and say, shit, I was wrong. Now I could listen and learn. So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So blackology got me.
Well, now you got to learn terms like
it got me. I thought I was on my shit, but it got me.
No, not at all.
Y'all got sidebar like a motherfucker.
Like a motherfucker, bro. I came back on this hoe and heard fishing wasn't hunting, and I was like, what are we doing?
That's a sidebar.
Like,
y'all had asked a good
lost.
question. Brass asked a good question to Chefrin just before they went down that road, and
damn,
I wanted to see where that was going to lead to. Right?
What he asked?
I forgot what he asked though, because you said something about. And so the whole hunting thing just came up, and it was a sidebar in your example, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said to him that certain things, early hominids had already had. We just inherited from them.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
That was the point. Yeah.
So that was the point. And then Brass was about to ask a question. I wanted to see like how that was going to walk down. Like where was that going to lead to? You know what I'm saying? That was a better conversation.
He was kind of alluding that humans, these things came to the world through like us, right? And I was making the point that no, these things was already in existence, right? We come from older, we evolved. So half of the things that we take credit for as Homo sapiens was already our older species that we evolved from was already doing it. You dig what I'm saying?
It go back. It's all in the old vestiges. Like if you look at chimps. Like if y'all ever got time, people that want to learn, look up Chimp Empire on Netflix. You'll learn every lot of shit about yourself that you probably didn't know about us developing. But chimps hunt. You know what I'm saying? Do it strategically. You know what I'm saying? They hunt other monkeys, other small animals. They do it. Of course we did. We that's our closest relative.
But he chat GPT.
So that's a deeper.
That's because his chat GPT is based on because his chat GPT is set up on political modernism and shit. He gonna give the licenses and all that. It ain't really. I don't know.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that those. So this kind of topic kind of leads to a different conversation, because I think Brass is more coming from a more intelligent design angle of it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He don't want to get cornered.
He's gonna tell y'all he don't know what
I want like people to kind of like I would like to see them walk through that.
Leave it alone.
Corey, I called that 3 hours ago. I was the first person when him said that. Say intelligent design. Remember you heard that? That was me.
So is Brass the only guy in here? Is this a whole atheist? Because if not, I argue from the intelligent design.
Yeah. I would say the wind the wind wasn't blown into us. It's development over time. Evolution, step selection.
Oh shit. Yeah, y'all a bunch of you a bunch of heathens over here. It's what you is. A bunch of goddamn heathens, Brass. Don't get out, Brass. Don't come in here with these heathens. Don't come in here with these heathens, man.
Corey, I believe that there's a clock maker. I believe that there's a clock maker that designed the clock, wound it, and leaved it, and set the rules in place. I believe in the clockmaker theory. That he's not running operations day to day. He just made
Have
the
you
clock.
ever read the book, The Blind Watchmaker?
No, but I did it in ethics class. I'm in philosophy.
Oh.
Well, if you take
Richard Dawkins wrote a book called The Blind Watchmaker. It's a pretty awesome book.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. The greatest show on earth is my favorite. That's one of my favorite. The greatest show on earth. So he busts down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like if you taking medicine in the modern world onto the hospital, a lot of them medical, breakthroughs because they was worked on our closest relative. You know what I'm saying? Which proves evolution.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you niggas know that I looked up on Chat GPT
Oh my God, a clinker.
We're
That's another
early
thing. The
humans.
clinkers can't keep the arguments going. I wanted to tell
but I'm
y'all that.
saying
Y'all was listening to a clinker. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
it's how you ask, and it's how and what you ask it too. It depends on what you ask.
Finish? Can I finish? This absolutely this absolutely says what you guys said is true. I said we're early humans meat eaters. It said yes. So early humans were meat eaters, but they were not exclusive meat eaters. With
so you would take a clinker's word over your brother's word.
Do you know what an omnivore? Do you know what an omnivore is?
I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to let you guys know you were correct. And you corrected
I can't
me.
believe how dependent on clinkers we become. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I can't believe how
earlier said,
dependent on. That's why they gonna take over the fucking world. That's why the clinkers gonna take over the world. You gonna shoot me in the middle. You gonna shoot me down in the middle of the street because the clinker told you to.
No,
that's what's gonna end up happening.
I looked up more information, and you guys were correct.
Hey, Chef earlier said, Chef, I don't know if you're a word brother, but Chef earlier said omnivore. You know what omnivore? I know you know carnivores.
I know what an omnivore is. Yes.
Yeah. He said that omnivore, and it just it ain't totally meat. It's they eat both.
Everything.
Do both.
That means we opportunists. We opportunists, baby.
Yeah.
Whatever's on the menu, baby. Whatever.
Yeah,
whatever my wife put on that plate, that's what I'm eating.
Don't eat. We like raccoons. We just
I'm just giving you guys saying, damn, you guys are correct. Now, with Corey talking this Klingon shit or whatever, I don't know what the fuck that is. Klinger. Okay. Well, I don't know what the fuck that is. But
what's that
I can be corrected. I can be corrected. A Klinger is a robot. And the shit,
is a robot.
I'm not Reggie. I can be corrected.
It's just what it sounds like. They clink. Robots make clinking noises.
Yeah, but to me, we're more than omnivores because we eat everything. We eat algae, we eat fungus, we eat animal, we eat plant, anything on the planet. We eat everything. We eat mushroom, which is a fungus.
Sea moss.
They don't eat coochie in Jamaica though.
That's a lie. They eat that too.
I know. They deny it. They just deny it. They is in denial. They is in denial about it, yo.
Human being, everything, anything on the planet, as long as it's not poisonous, and even when it's poisonous.
So you eat that cuckoo, 2 peas, or what? I mean, what's happening? What's going on?
I can't believe you, Howard, that you want to listen to a clinker over your brother, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, eventually, the clinker gonna tell you to shoot me down in the middle of the street. He gonna tell you. He gonna tell it to you eventually. He gonna say, "Shoot his ass down in the middle of the street, brother. He need to go. He's the danger." The clinker gonna tell it to you because you're gonna look it up. You gonna ask him.
Or I don't know what the clinker is. I don't know what the hell that is.
You said what now?
Trying to learn.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out in the long run.
I can't hear you.
What's the name of your channel?
Oh, the Book of Al-Jahid.
Oh yeah, I remember. All right, I got it. Go ahead, Joe. My bad.
I'm finna pour me a goddamn glass of vodka, and I'm gonna listen to you niggas and shut the fuck up. That's what I'm finna do.
Hey, Howard, you wanna know what I'm doing?
What that is?
I just hunted me some fish out the refrigerator, and I'm about to
You said hunted some fish out the refrigerator. That's a shot.
I hunted and gathered some French fries, and I'm gonna make some whiting and fries that I hunted.
Okay.
I mean, I was terrified when I was hunting the fish, but I got it done. I wasn't I made it through. So I'm gonna bring back to these forager and hunters.
Stab it. Hey, Brad, stab it. It ain't hunting unless you stab it. You gotta make a weapon.
I stabbed the fuck out of it. I'm frying white.
hey, Brad.
If you go out on, if I take your ass on that charter boat, Brad, you'll know it's hunting. You'll know you're doing some hunting out there on that charter boat, boy.
In modern, hey, guess what? Hey, Corey, in modern terms, I fully agree with you. In anthropological terms, I fully disagree with you.
Brass is throwing shots at every day.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. We gotta. So, hey, DQ.
Lego. Anthropological.
Hey, DQ,
that's what it is.
Hey, DQ, you know what's crazy?
Hold on, Brass. You sound like Richard Lawson that works at the law firm. That's who you are right now, Richard Lawson. You sound educated.
Wait, hey, DQ, you know what's funny? When we was having this conversation, you know why I had to stop? And this is a shot, but it ain't. I think I started sounding too much like the other server, man. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and shut. I think I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I actually hate that shit. So yeah, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Y'all know this is the smartest server or the smart. Well, I don't really like. Y'all know I don't be in the chat or whatever the fuck you call it. This is the smartest fucking shit. That's why I listen. All you niggas. I'm talking from the top to the bottom. DQ, and excuse me if I miss names, so I ain't gonna name a lot of names. All you guys hold the best fucking conversations, period. That's why I listen, bro. Y'all are all Chef, Court, even Stu Peas, who may take a hard line on some shit.
I don't believe. For some reason, I don't
know about Stu sometimes.
Yeah,
Stu Peas. That nigga Stu had you ready to run outside and bite a dog to get your anger off.
Yeah, but he bring up good shit for good conversations. Even Haskell bring up good shit, good conversations, bro.
I don't know how much college Stu Peas did, but educationally, I learned a lot from Stu Peas. Like,
Stu Peas do a lot of
shit that I
didn't. He could be dead fucking wrong. You know that nigga on that one-way street going the wrong fucking way, but he will make it seem like he going the right.
Oh yeah, he gonna die. He gonna die on his point. Hey, he'll die on his point so much that he'll die and then come back 3 days later and say, you know, I went back and looked. and you might have got me right there, but I still think I'm kind of right.
But Johnson's the only one. So go ahead.
No.
I forgot about Majasti. Yeah, another.
No, I got another example though. I got another example.
Well, Black Egypt?
Nope. Sister
Black Egypt is just me fucking around.
No. Sister Safa got you too.
Which one?
I don't know, but I know you came back and apologized for something you said.
No, my sister.
But
my sister
Safa
was talking about the black nurse ceiling.
Apologize if he knew he was wrong or he. It takes an intelligent. He's not a narcissist.
But what I meant was no disrespect to the other server. My point was I didn't when I was. I'm gonna stay away from that. There's no disrespect to them, but what I meant was before I got into these discords, the conversations I was having were natural conversations, and even if we stayed in our ignorance, we enjoyed the fact that somebody didn't tell me to go to Wikipedia or pull up a source. So if I'm just saying to you, that's what anthropologists say, but I'm agreeing with you in just regular, everyday, conversation, I'm comfortable with just staying there rather than trying to be Wikipedia right or ChatGPT right. That's what I meant. So no disrespect to them there.
But no, you guys on another level, Chef, Corey, you, Brass, Stu Peas, all you guys, if I'm missing, you guys, that's why I love listening to you guys. No matter, I know you guys say, we ain't teaching. And that's true. But I learned.
The only person that says that, Howard, is me. Everybody else in this motherfucker think they Joe Clark from East Side.
I'm teaching these dumb motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what.
Hey, I'm not. Hey, I ain't saying I'm like this because of other server, but I'm like that because I'm from St. Louis. If you say something, you got to show me. Hey, baby.
Hey, shouts to you. And once again, before this shit get blown out of proportion, that was no disrespect to them niggas. I'm just saying. Before I started talking with them, everything didn't need a source. We was just having good conversation.
Oh yeah,
you guys' conversation is the best. I think I love listening to you guys. I'm not gonna lie. You guys, Best, Gullah, I forgot you. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, to me, my opinion, y'all on top ring of as far as infotainment. To me, I love it. Y'all keep going, bro.
Yeah, we trying to just have not barbershop, but we're trying to sort something out. We're just allowing people to watch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, and you also allow people to talk, and yeah, to me, it's beautiful. I
not stupid. Just not stupids. I don't really want to hear what stupids does.
I know. I'm not happy. You're the only person, because I don't get to talk to Sheffrin plenty, because Sheffrin always busy. I have to pick on you. So I'm saying the words in the argument to pick on you.
My thing is, I gotta make sure that whoever you talking to, you ain't got a mortal, lifelong combat beef with, so that one word out of place don't be like, I'm gonna kill everybody in your family. That's how this is gonna go.
No, I enjoy having conversation with you. You know that.
Yeah, I enjoy having conversation. I'm saying all of that to say I enjoy this shit.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of that just to say I enjoy it, brother.
I'm just saying, when I listen to Stu Pease, I feel like I'm listening to Marcus Garvey like in real time.
Oh, then Stu Pease a scammer, big time. Hey, and by the way, Stu Pease, that Jamaican's still running from me after I got hold to him over that Haskell, that Marcus Garvey debate. I'm still waiting on somebody to pick up the mantle and prove to me that he wasn't a scammer. Also, don't think I forgot.
Ain't nobody argue that. Who gonna argue that?
Haskell argued. We had a full debate. I can't believe you missed a good one, because we had a full debate on whether Marcus Garvey was a scammer or not. That shit was a actual scholarly debate with sources.
And shit, who argued Haskell argued that he was not a scammer?
Yeah, Haskell argued that he was not a scammer.
Damn, that's a losing argument. But did he make a good argument?
No, he made a great whoa. Now it's a losing argument, but I think he made a great argument.
Oh, okay.
I think he did well. It's just after the debate, because you know when you fuck with people's legends and shit, everybody come out the woodwork and start saying, well, I'm gonna get him next. And I just ain't heard nothing since. So I must have did a pretty good job.
Listen, Marcus Garvey wasn't a scammer. Marcus Garvey was a man of his times. He took a portion of the donation, just like Red Cross. Is Red Cross a scamming? Is Red Cross? No, let's be honest. Is Red Cross a scamming institution? No, because 90% of the donation don't go to the problem with Red Cross. 90% of the donation and Brass agree with this.
He bought some bullshit boat and never. Come on, stupid.
Part of what there is an element of fraud in what the Red Cross does. I'm pretty sure they've had episodes of fraud, but on its face, I don't think it was a scam. We found out and figured out that from the first time Marcus Garvey took money, he was scamming.
No, scamming like a motherfucker. Didn't he give money to a dude that scammed him for a boat? Like some wild shit. I don't remember.
Yeah, go watch the debate. Like, I'm not gonna do it again. I proved it in the debate. Some of his earliest donations, when he took money, he was scamming, bro.
I think he got scammed.
The earliest donation was to establish the organization. So that money,
but he didn't say that that's what it was for. He said it was for some boats and shit that didn't exist.
I'm just playing devil's.
Yeah, I know what you know. Please, I know what you're doing. I only know this because I had to do research for the debate with Haskell. That's why I say he did a good job. I thought it was going to be a lot tougher, but as you begin to study Marcus Garvey and you realize what he knew versus the rumors per se, he knew when he took almost his earliest donations, he knew he was telling people that it was.
He knew he was buying it from
he was telling people
nigga.
for something that he knew didn't exist. That's
he bought.
Where I think Umar Johnson got it from? Where y'all think the Prince of Pan Africa got it from?
Yeah.
Listen. Most philanthropic organization, the majority of the resources go to the organization and the needs of the organization.
Yeah. Come on, Stupies. Come on,
cannot be denied. Cannot be denied.
You ain't finna do this, Stupies.
That 25% that can feed a child a day. Or about 2 cents to the children.
He sold shares of a boat that he never owned. That's scamming.
Yeah, that's scamming at the highest level.
No, let's Stupies keep playing devil's advocate.
No. All right, let's talk. Because somebody just said that. Remember, a killing is not a murder without intent. Right? We all agree on that, right? That a killing, homicide, is not a murder without intent. No, he was selling the shares of a boat because he had all intention to buy that boat.
That would make sense, Stupies. Hold on,
Was that really scamming?
But Stupies, yes, that was established in the debate because I didn't know that. See, if Marcus Garvey stayed in regular living and wasn't spending on lavish uniforms and throwing lavish parades and living high on the hog in New York City and having an office, paying for an office that didn't exist, no matter what his intent was, he took the money and spent it a lot on himself and lavishly.
No, the parades were for the people. Have you ever watched the parade?
For the people, right, to keep up the
Have you ever watched the parade? Have you ever go on YouTube and look at the parade? And you look at the glorious.
I've organized parades, and the money that we got for the parade was specifically for the parade. But when you throw the parade and people give you money, and you go back and you live in a high rise, and then you got another penthouse apartment somewhere else, and you dressing in these expensive ass general uniforms, and I'm not even talking about the grifting that he was doing with the people in Jamaica. The money just, no matter what his intent was, the money just didn't, his actions didn't match whatever you're saying his intent was.
Listen, my favorite football player is $100 million.
I know he's Jamaican, so you're going to die fighting.
No. I'm not that. One of my favorite football players is $100 million ain't shit. Right? We have that. One of my favorite American football players said $100 million ain't shit.
Who said that?
Of course, AD. He said that.
Antonio Brown?
Yeah, AB, yeah. He said $100 million.
You talking about the nigga with the CTE? You talking about the nigga? Wait. You talking about the nigga that in the second? Wait. You talking about the nigga in the second quarter? Hold on.
No.
You talking about the nigga in the second quarter that took his whole uniform off and left the stadium while the game was still going?
First ballot Hall of Fame.
First ballot Hall of Fame. Hey, I'm gonna say this about him being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Robert Kraft today, I don't know if Slade is in here, but Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, that has more Super Bowls than every other team, I think he has more Super Bowls as whatever it is, he got some great record of Super Bowls, right? Mm-hmm. And he now effectively will not be, because of actions outside of football, he's not going to make the Hall of Fame. He got denied today. Bill Belichick, his coach, because they believed he was cheating or that he cheated, they denied him for the first time. Terrell Owens, whose stats say he's the second greatest wide receiver of all time, it took him damn near 8 tries to get into the Hall of Fame. So saying that Antonio Brown is a first ballot Hall of Famer is not necessarily, huh?
I was saying, that's politics. You talk about like
no, but
I'm saying based off, if it was strictly based off of field play, he's arguably a top 7 receiver ever.
No, arguably, but what I'm saying is when you say first ballot Hall of Famer, you add in the politics. That's outside of.
I mean, I was going off of talent. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, he got one of the greatest wide receivers I've ever seen. But if you telling me they made Terrell Owens, who's number 2 in catches, number 2 in yards, number 2 in touchdowns, if they held him out, but put Randy Moss in ahead of him just because Terrell Owens was deemed an asshole, Antonio Brown is not going to be a first ballot.
Oh yeah, realistically, yeah, they're gonna try to carry him, but
yeah, that nigga might be on the
pound
for a long time. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something that's ignorant, Fetty. After today, after what they did to Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick the other day, I don't think Tom Brady gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Because they're cheaters.
They're making the Patriots. The Hall of Fame is separate from the NFL. They're making the Patriots for whatever the NFL didn't do to them. The Hall of Fame is in this bitch trying to correct history. Because to say that Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft aren't Hall of Famers, you saying something, bro. They trying to make a statement. They're making a statement on them. They're making an example out of the.
If it was the Olympics, they would have lost that Super Bowl. They would have been disqualified when they found out that cheating occurred.
Well, because the penalty. Well, there's another take on that, Stu Pease. And by the way, for those watching, we're no longer talking about fish and shit. Mm-hmm. But y'all can just listen to the barbershop or leave.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn the Discord off because I'm not in front of my laptop. But
this is a moral issue now. We're talking about a moral issue.
Now we have morals. Now here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Now they got. I'm gonna say similar to what happens with criminals. One of the reasons why I don't persecute people that are in prison as much as maybe others do is because I believe that they got caught doing something that a lot of people do. So I think the Patriots taping. A wise man once said, Jimmy Johnson said, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So taping similar to, it's funny that Slade is a Patriots fan and a Team Up North fan, and they both was cheating. It's fine. I just thought about that. But when you get caught,
all teams kind of do it, but yeah,
right. I mean, it's just the Patriots got caught.
Yes, you are correct, sir. Yes, you are correct, sir.
Yeah, taping practices and taping shit and all of that. I think they all do it. I just think that the Team Up North and the Patriots got caught, and then they got penalized. But the penalty wasn't taking away the Super Bowl. The penalty was that's the way you penalize. That's like saying stupid that you take draft picks and fines. You can't pull a motherfucker over for a traffic ticket and then give them 15 years because they committed a crime. Like that's not the
Bill got a Hall of Fame resume before New England, arguably even as a D coordinator.
Yeah, but you don't. The defensive coordinator don't make the Hall of Fame. Bro, defensive coordinator don't make.
He won a bowl. Shit, he won a Super Bowl. Shit.
Nah, he didn't. But they give that to Parcells, who made the Super Bowl. Who won? He made the Hall of Fame.
The most important thing is the shield. The shield is the most important thing. Protect the shield at all costs. They don't give a fuck what Bill did. You cheated, your ass gonna get in on the next round.
Hey, speaking of cheating, y'all, how y'all feel about that Paul George situation? You think the NBA is kind of
by the way,
say like it's something fishy going on?
James Harden to the Cavaliers for Darius Garland is happening within the next 24 hours.
Listen.
But as far as Paul George, I think the truth hasn't come out, and I am not a fan of Paul George ethically or his morals. I think he used performance-enhancing drugs that he's calling mental health. I think I would side with the NBA on that. That he used something that was performance-enhancing, and now he's trying to say mental health, but he has a history of making weird statements and shit. Like they're about to suspend the guy for what Kobe was doing.
Listen, I believe in Olympic rules. Listen,
go ahead.
I believe in Olympic rules. Paul George needs to get a 3-year ban. The integrity of the sport, people gambling, people betting their money, and people expect a level of fairness and truth. The team should have lost that Super Bowl ring. Everybody know that the fairness of the sport. It's unfortunate that you got caught. A lot of people not in jail who got caught, who didn't get caught, but a lot of people in jail who got caught. You shouldn't have gotten caught. And once you got caught, that slap on the wrist foolishness, draft pick and fine. No.